Hello everybody. Nobody here yet, so I can talk to myself for a little while, but that's nothing fresh. I live on my own, so I talk to myself an awful lot. So I'll just chat away to my little self until somebody appears. Dear. Oh, I've got a zzz off my phone here. Don't know who that is. Zzz. Let's have a little look before we start. Oh, it's my friend sharing photographs. I will look later. I will have a little look later. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Hello, Nathan. Hello, Esther. I'm back on my pastel shawl today. I had a break because I finished the cardigan, the hexy cardigan there. Finished that. Hi, Julie. Hi, Nathan. Hi, Esther. So that's what I'm doing. I finished the wicked cardigan. I call it a wicked cardigan because that's the colour of boho spirit is wicked. I don't mean the cardigan's wicked. I mean, apparently when my niece came today, she told me what the colours were, that the pink is for such a witch and the green is for another witch. And I have not seen Wicked. I'm probably the only person on the planet that's not seen Wicked. So I have no idea what she's talking about. But anyway, apparently the colours are for the different witches. But either way, I'm quite pleased with it, and it turned out lovely. So lovely that my niece wants one, so we ordered the wool today. So I'm busy doing this until her wool arrives from Wool Warehouse, which will probably be the end of this week. Yeah. It's, she said to me, how did you decide where to put the colours? And I said, I didn't. I said, it was just the way it came. Well, you don't have to be clever, you just crochet. So, yeah, it really wants blocking properly. I did wet it and that, but the two fronts are curling a bit, at the front there. So it really wants, I just didn't have the time to block it out. So I'll have another go at spraying it with some water and pinning it, to get it's these corners and the bottom corners that are curling inwards. So that's what they do. That is their want or their whatever. Because you don't put buttons on the hexes. Well, you could, I suppose, couldn't you? If you wanted to, you could put buttons on. But normally they're just edge to edge, normally. Alpha Glinda's, I wouldn't know, Nathan. See, obviously you have watched it. You have watched Wicked along with Mrs. D. Paula. I'm surprised Paula from Mrs. Stitched by Mrs. D hasn't seen the wool yet and bought it, because she's crazy about Wicked. She knows all the songs and sings along to them. I don't know any of them. Wouldn't know any of them. I'm not a cinema person. I can't sit still. I get the fidgets, and I'm looking for my scissors now before we start. Where are they? I don't want to have to start biting my wool. They were on here. Why have I moved them? Where have I put them is the other question. Oh, Janet, what have you done? Why have you moved your scissors? I'm sure they were there before. Mint sticks. They're not actually the real McCoy. Been to Morrison's today. The Wizard of Oz. Oh, Nathan, I am so old that I watched the original Wizard of Oz and I can't remember a thing. Where my scissors are. Well, I'm not going to look for them. So I shall just grab some kitchen scissors. I've just rolled my chair over the end of my dress, which isn't a good thing. We shall do a what are you wearing today? It's a dress from Moonbeams and Mayhem. Very, very gypsy-ish. That's why there's a red cardigan, because the end of the dress is red, so I'm tying the two bits together. But because the top bit's blue, I'm wearing a blue necklace. I thought it might seem a bit odd on camera if I was wearing a red necklace, even though I've got a red cardigan and red at the bottom of my dress. Good evening, Linda. I'm back on my pastel at the moment. Well, I haven't ironed the other dress, the one I got from Moonbeams and Mayhem, and the skirt. I haven't ironed them. So I showed them to my niece and she went, oh, they're very you. It's funny how everybody knows my taste. It's very you. She said, very you they are. Ooh. She took me photo while I was out. Apparently, there's a WhatsApp group that her and her sister and her mum are on. So she said, I'll send it to that WhatsApp. I'm not on that WhatsApp group because it's just their private one. So I said, well, can you send me it? I don't want to be took me photo and not have to see it. So anyway, she sent it to me, so I'll put it on Facebook. Not that I'm vain, but it's a nice photo. Hello, Lizzie. Hello. I'm just trying to find the next colour to put on here. As my friend, you know, I told you the lady who's blind, gives me all these balls of wool. Kind of a big bag full. They're all pastel colours. So I wanted to try to find colours that I've not already used to put in next. The trouble with my friend is these are the way that she winds the balls of wool. So I tend to have to rewind them before I use them, otherwise they just kind of fall apart and I don't know where the end is. I don't know why she winds such slack balls, but she does. I found an end. I'm going to rewind it, yeah. Hot and muggy. It's not been bad here today, actually. Not been bad at all. It wasn't very, very sunny, but then again, it did dry all my bedding, so I can't complain, can I? It was quite windy, and it wasn't cold, so it dried all the bedding, so I was quite happy about that. Because my niece always does my bed for me. I mean, I do my bed in between, don't get me wrong, but I struggle a bit with it. It takes me hours to do my bed. You know, I have to do a bit at the corner, and then I have to sit down a bit, and then I have to do another corner and sit down a bit. So she always says, strip your bed and I'll put it on for you. You're eating figs from your... I've got some figs, actually, but they're dried and they've been too dried, if you know what I mean. I tried reconstituting them by putting them in some hot water, but all I finished up was with watery figs. So they weren't very good. They were too dry. That's the trouble when you buy dried fruit. It's not always moist, is it? Right, I'm winding my ball again. Because, sorry, Terry, but you do very floppy balls that start to fall apart when I'm crocheting with them. Crocheting. Oh, God. No, I'm doing it. I'm making it fall apart. Right, well, I'll nip round to Lizzie. She's got figs to spare, obviously. My fruit trees, my little fruit trees are growing quite nicely. Apparently, I might get some fruit in about a couple of years, yeah. But, you know, hey-ho. I didn't expect them to start throwing apples up right away, you know. I tidied up the back garden. It was in such a state. You know, we had really high winds and rain and everything. I couldn't go to knit club on Monday because it was so bad. I mean, I almost didn't go out on Thursday, you know, to meet my friend for brunch. But I had to go out because I had to pick my prescription up. So it wasn't, it was lashing it down when I started off, and I thought, oh, Janet, you are so crazy. I know my scooter's got a top on it, but it was still blowing in the sides. And I thought, you are going up the seafront, you want your head examining. Anyway, it kind of stopped raining, so it wasn't too bad. By the time I got to the Affinity for my brunch, I phoned my friend up. I said, you've not replied. I said, I've got to go and get my prescription. I said, are you coming out in the rain or what? And she goes, why, what day is it? I went, it's Thursday. She said, oh, I thought it was Wednesday. I said, no, it's Thursday. Are you not coming? She went, no. She said, I'm expecting a mattress being delivered. And I don't want it being left out in the rain. I said, right, fair enough. I thought I were bad, but she completely lost her day. She thought it was Wednesday. I must confess, sometimes I look at the computer to see what date it is. I usually remember what actual day it is. Oh, you've got lots of you, right? Okay, I'll be around in a bit, yeah. Oh, dear. I like figs, dates, prunes, all the things that people go, you know. When I say I love prunes, everybody goes, ooh, you're joking or what? What, you know? When I was at school and they used to give you rice pudding or semolina pudding or whatever it was, and they gave you prunes, I used to have everybody's prunes off the table because nobody else wanted them. I don't remember it having any adverse effects on me. Maybe I'm just immune to prunes. But I do love, especially on rice pudding. Oh, I love prunes on my rice pudding. Yeah. It's gone in a knot if you wonder what I'm tangling with. Ooh. Yes, I've got to do another one of those jackets now, another wicked one. It's rather green. I was expecting it to have a bit more of that pink in it, but it's very, very green. Look at that. See what I mean? If I start crocheting without rewinding it, finish up with yarn bath. When she gives me the balls of wool, I should rewind them all really, but I never do. Just put them in my bag. Then when I start crocheting with them, it's all over the place. When I finished my knitting, I was so glad to get back to crocheting. Knitting is so slow to me. Everybody says I'm a quick knitter, but it's still slow compared with crochet. When you think about it, I mean, even when I learned to crochet, I used to knit more than I crocheted. And of course, when I was expecting my son, I just knitted for him because I think baby things are, unless you've got a little girl when you're making a crochet dress or something. I think for a boy, you really need to knit, you know. I don't think crocheting is really suitable for a boy, really. But that's just me. Oh, look at that. My friend came round the other day. The Every box has finally gone. You know, the post box that came and it was the wrong size. Anyway, my new one's arrived. My new parcel box has arrived. It's at the front door. And the Amazon man used it for the first time without ringing my bell. He just put my toast. Oh, God, what a week I've had. What a week. It was throwing it down with rain on the Monday, so I couldn't go anywhere. On the Tuesday, I came in the kitchen and there was this noise of a motor whirring and it kept changing speed and going. And I thought, oh no. Is it me washer? Is it me boiler? Didn't know what it was. Took everything out the pan cupboard because that's where the noise seemed to be coming the loudest. And I thought, well, the washer was plugged in into a plug inside the glass inside the pan cupboard. So I thought, right, climb in the pan cupboard, unplug the washer in case it's the washing machine. Unplug the washer, nothing happens. So I Googled, you know, can you get like a motor was like a noise of a motor. Can you get a noise of a motor when you switch your washing machine off? And it was like, no. Can you get the noise of a motor when you switch the boiler off? Yes, you can. I thought, oh God, no, please, it's not my boiler. Anyway, my next door neighbour arrived. I saw his car pull in the drive. Hi, Julie. I saw his car pull into the drive, and I thought, I'll ask him to come. And I said, can I borrow you for a minute? He said, yeah, sure. Why? I said, can you come in the kitchen and listen to this noise? He said, yeah, okay. So, like me, he was all over the kitchen, listening to the boiler, listening to this, listening to that. He said, well, I don't know what it is. No, I don't know what I've done with my crochet. Oh, please, Janet, I'm just dangerous today. What have I done with it? I had it a minute ago, didn't I? What have I done? Oh, it's there. So he's there with his head in the cupboard, and he said it's definitely louder in the cupboard. So we couldn't find it. I thought, oh God, what we're going to do. Anyway, he opened the knife drawer, which was above the pan cupboard. The noise got louder. I said, that noise is louder in the cupboard, in the drawer. You know what it was? You know those tiny little battery-operated whisk things that you put in to make a milkshake? It had switched itself on. I was in the front room. I hadn't been in the knife drawer. So why it switched itself on, I don't know. Anyway, we had a good laugh. We had a good laugh, yes, we did, yeah. Hi, Magali. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Julie. So, yes, it was. So, thankfully, it was nothing expensive. I thought it would only happen to me. I had an hour of worry thinking I was going to have to get somebody out to fix the boiler or whatever. Anyway, it wasn't anything of the kind. It was a plumbing, battery-operated whisk in the knife drawer. But no, I've been in the front room doing my crochet, so I hadn't been anywhere near. And then yesterday, I put my toast in the toaster. Boom, the toaster blew up. What had happened was, the other day, I put the hosepipe onto the tap, yeah? And unbeknown to me, it had sprayed all over the kitchen units, all over the floor, everywhere. While I was out in the garden, I didn't see. And it must have sprayed into the toaster. So when I switched the toaster on, it just went. So I no longer have a red toaster to match everything else. I now have a white one. Because the red one was £26 and the white one was 12. So, needs must when the devil drives, you know what I mean? Yeah. And do you remember all those colours I'd bought from Wool Warehouse for that play double knitting? For £1.99 100 gram? Gone back to its full price, £4.30 a ball. So I don't feel too bad about being naughty now and buying 6 colours. Because I've saved over, £2 a ball? More, haven't I? I've saved over £2 a ball. And I ordered 6 of each, so that's 6 is 36. So I saved £72. Go me, you're me, yeah. So I don't feel too bad about overspending, yeah. Anyway, my niece took me to Morrison's today, so I don't see my niece very often. She's busy. She's got other things to do with her life. And so I took advantage of having a big shop, trolley full of stuff. So it's not just a week. I bought, things that I've decanted and put into the freezer. I bought meat and stuff and chicken. And I've bagged it up in little bags and put it on the freezer. So I've got like 2 or 3 weeks worth of food, really. And I've got loads of fruit, so you can't see it, it's behind me. You can't see me with my big head, can you see? I've got loads of fruit there. Apples, bananas. I've got grapes, I haven't got peaches. What have I got? Plums, So I'm all fruited up. I've got a lot of fruit. A lot of fruit to eat. So, mind you, I've been eating sweeties this last week or so. No, it isn't my niece who's going to do it, Julie. It's my friend, and she can't come till next Saturday. So, yeah. A friend sent me a file. Hi, Chris. And it was a WPS file. When I tried to open it, WPS downloaded itself onto my computer without my knowledge. So when I Googled it, apparently it's very sneaky, this WPS. It downloads itself without asking you. So very naughty of it. So I was a bit cross with WPS, not with the person who sent me the file. I was just cross that this WPS, I always thought you had to agree, say, yes, I want to download it. I was annoyed that it did it on its own. Don't you detest it when they do that? I play solitaire on my phone, and every time I play it, it keeps telling me, you need to update it. This one is out of date. Now, the first 2 times I fell for it, and I finished up with about 6 different solitaires downloaded on my phone, and I thought, this is not right. So now I just say, no, I don't want to download it, and I come out of it. And then a few minutes later, they'll send me a link to the same one that they've just told me is out of date. And I play it again. And then the thing comes up again. You need to upload. And I thought, no, I'm just keep saying no. And I keep coming out of it, and they keep sending it me again. They do it. So I don't know why they do these things. Why you need to update. You need to update. No, I don't need to update because you keep sending it me anyway. So it's mint. Let me see what it says. It's meant to be a perfect match. They're not matchmakers. Well, they are matchmakers, but they're now by Quality Street. So they used to be smaller than this, though. They're like extra long, aren't they? Extra long matchmakers. They're mint ones. I actually prefer the orange ones, but they didn't have any. I'm joking myself. I was going to ask you, Julie, did you want me to mention who it was from when I do a video when it arrives? It's arriving on Monday, by the way. I got a message, but I've got my parcel box now. So it doesn't matter if I'm not in, which I'm not in actually, because I've got a blood test. Oh, I hate them blood tests. They stab you. HB1C. If you're diabetic, you know what it is, HB1C. They do them every 6 months. And then you get you have been a naughty girl, your blood sugars are up the wall, yeah. So I probably will get shouted at. I won't get shouted at on Monday because the results won't be in until about the Wednesday or the Thursday. Then I get a text message. They have sent me 4 text messages reminding me I have an appointment on Monday. Don't they waste time and money? 1 reminder would be fine, not 4. Oh, that's okay. I never like mentioning people's names unless I ask them first, yeah. Because, some people wish to remain anonymous, yeah. So I'm just hoping some old dear likes pastel colours. Somebody said, well, if they got Alzheimer's, they won't notice. Bit cruel, wasn't it, that? A bit cruel. Something else has happened this week. It's been a week and a half. I've had that many things gone wrong this week. I was just glad when the week is coming to an end. I want to start next Monday with my blood test on a different keel, you know. I'm like, anything else going to go wrong? Please, nothing else go wrong, yeah. I heard somebody called, what would they call it? A new word for my backyard. I can't remember if she said it was a yardigan. Like that's a garden, a yard and a garden. Or a gardy yard. I think it was a yardigan. I've forgotten now, and I thought, oh, that's a good word. I'll remember that to call it that. Instead of calling it my courtyard, yeah. Well, I think I'm 52 as well, Julie. It must be catching. Yeah. I did the back, you know, like the back garden. I kept having to sit down and I thought, oh, God, you're knackered. You really are knackered, John. We were talking about what happened with the tap and the toaster today to my niece. And then in the next breath, she said to me, what do you want for your 80th? She's, you know, because we don't normally do presents anymore for birthdays and that. She said, but it's a special occasion. She says, God, a yard. She said, what do you want? And I said, well, you're going to laugh when I tell you. She said, what do you want? I said, a tap in the garden. And she goes, well, she said, I've heard of all things. She said, I thought you were going to say some makeup or something nice or a slippers or something. She said, but I will get you a tap if that's what you want. Get the plumber and tell me how much it is and I'll pay for a tap in your garden. So that will be my 80th birthday present of my niece. A tap in the garden. Well, you know, it's what I want. I mean, I don't need it so much now because all my plants have more or less died apart from my fruit trees and I can water them with a watering can. But come next summer, when hopefully I'm planting some more seeds and that, I will need the hosepipe connected, yeah. So hopefully I'll get. And the guy next door who came in to find out my mystery noise, yeah, he knows a good plumber, he said. So hopefully I will get a tap put in my backyard. And I'll pay myself to have 2 taps put on the kitchen here because my taps are wonky. They go like that when you're trying to turn them on. They just go. They point one way, then they point the other way. They're a bit loose. And I thought, oh, I'm not having them tightened up. They're knackered taps, you know. I want nice taps, yeah. Yeah. Oh, my neighbour said, oh, I do like what you've done with the kitchen. I thought, oh. And my niece was quite taken with me tiling, you know. She said, oh, I love that. She said, aren't they cute, you know. Do they stick on? I went, yeah. I said, so far they haven't fell off yet. So what are you all doing? What are you all making? Are you crocheting? Are you knitting? Are you cross stitching? Oh, I'm not one for sort of cross stitch or anything like that. But have you watched Amora's videos? You know, when she's been in Turkey, and there were all these handbags, and they were made out of like plastic canvas that was bent round, and they do all this like cross stitchy stuff in patterns, and they're made, you know, thick wool. They're not fine stuff, thick wool. And they were doing like, you know, squares and that in, oh, they were gorgeous. You know me, limited skills. You know, I can't do anything with a little fiddle in it. I thought I might do that because it'd be a big needle, won't it? Thick wool. I might be all right. You're sewing up your crochet blanket. I still haven't sewn the ends in, you know, on that lap blanket I did in Granny Squares. Look at me, I've got queen of the ends, she is. We're just thrown on the floor now. Something just went flying. Oh, what are you doing, Janet? Oh, know I can't pick things up. I have no feeling in my fingers to pick things up. It was one of my sticks. 5-second rule. If it hits the floor, 5 seconds in my mouth. When you think when we were kids, we used to drop lollies and all sorts, apples, in the dirt. Man, she used to rinse it under the tap, didn't she, and give it you back. I never held anything, never caught anything. When my son was 10 months old, he finished up in the children's hospital with gastroenteritis. Really badly dehydrated. They had to put him on a drip. And I said, how on earth has he got gastroenteritis? I said, I'm so clean with everything, sterilised everything. And he said, that is the trouble. He said, you've sterilised everything. He said, he's got no immune system. He said, just wash his cutlery, knives and forks and everything, wash them under the tap in hot water. He said, you've no need to sterilise anything once a baby gets 6 months. He said, you've given him, he's got no immunity to germs. That's why it's whacked him over. So I thought, so I got told off for being too clean. Because he was 10 months, but he was still having a bottle to go to bed. He liked his bottle to go to sleep with, yeah. So, of course, I was sterilising the bottle and sterilising the teat. Every time he dropped his dummy, because he had a dummy, passive, whatever you call it, I'd sterilise that before I put it back in his mouth. I got told off for being too clean. So now, I think, but, first baby didn't know nothing, didn't know anything. Went by the book, sterilise this, sterilise that. They don't tell you to stop. When you get to a certain age, stop sterilising. They don't tell you that. So I just carried on, sterilising these little plastic spoons and his little cups and his beakers. And every time he dropped anything, back in the sterilising. Oh. But apparently, you see, he was learning to walk. And like he said, he's walking and he's falling. He said, and I'm not being rude. He said, I know you hoover your carpet and floors, but he's putting his hands on your carpet and that, then his hands going in his mouth. He said, and there's germs and stuff on your carpet, no matter how clean you hoover. There's germs on your carpet, and he's putting his hands in his mouth. And that's what was happening. Yeah. So that just shows you. Oh. I've got a little thing stuck in my teeth. Oh dear. So, we are HAPPY. We are HAPPY. What is it? I know I am. I think I am. I'm HAPPY. Oh, goodness me. £500 for a baby. They're out of them in 2 minutes, aren't they? I mean, when I had my first, well, my only one, when I had my first, we didn't have much money. So we just had like 6 vests, 3 baby grow, whatever. You just had to keep washing, drying, didn't you? And I see people that buying dozens of clothes, and I'm like, when my son was born, he was bigger than I expected him to be. So his baby vest, tiny little newborn ones, he was in them about 5 or 6 weeks. And then I had to buy him the bigger size. So when I see all these people with like wardrobes full of clothes for a newborn, I'm thinking, so stupid. They grow out of them in 2 minutes, don't they? I mean, my son's little baby grows. I bought him 0 to 3 months. They fitted him about 6 weeks. Then he was out of them. He wanted 3 to 6, And then he went in them 2 minutes before he was in the 6 to 12. So, I mean, it's, hi, Val. So it's pointless buying dozens and dozens of things in one size because they just grow. They grow like weeds. I finished my jacket, Val. Woo, there it is. Can you see it? finished it. Now my niece wants one. I've had to order some more. I told you last week I'm allergic to wool. It makes me come out in hives. I itch like crazy. And it doesn't matter if it's merino, angora, or whatever, alpaca. People cannot believe I'm allergic to merino, alpaca, and everything. The mere fact it comes off an animal, I am allergic to it, yeah. And people seem to think it's the wool that tickles, and I'll say, no, if you're allergic to something, it doesn't matter if it comes from the finest goat. If you're allergic to wool, you're allergic to it. Everybody comes out with these suggestions, I bet you wouldn't be if it was, alpaca. I bet you would be if it's... Well, we used to have to do it when our Ian was little, but oh God, I used to hate it, especially when he was sick, Because, the wool was our mush back in the day. Yeah, my niece tried it on. I mean, I would have let her have it, but I needed to take photos of it and show it on a video first. Otherwise, I'd have let her take that one home and make myself another one. But she said she wasn't in a rush, so she ordered the wool. Well, she paid for it. I ordered the wool and she paid for it. So it'll come later on this week. Because Wool Warehouse is usually pretty good, They usually send your orders out in a few days, yeah. So I'll carry on doing my odds and sods scarf. Not scarves. Shawl. Ooh. What shall I have next? I've got pink. What colour can I have next? Maybe lilac. Lilac can go next to pink. Don't think it makes any difference. Oh, the same as mine. She wanted the wicked, the same. Well, we don't mix in the same circle, so so it won't matter. I sent her home with a cardigan I'd made. It was a lovely cardigan, but when I made it, I thought, oh, it's not you, Janet. It was just a drab colour, It was I was using up some wool I had in the shed, yeah. Oh, my friend come here, the one who took me my every parcel for me, my friend from Knit Club. And she's going, oh my God, all this wool you've got in the garage. And I goes, that's only half of it. I got rid of half of it when I moved. She went, you're joking? I went, no. I said, still got a garage full. No, she came, took me every parcel back for me, took my doorbell off. I've got a ring doorbell and I can't do the little screw. The screws are minute. They're like about a quarter of an inch of that. Tiny little screws. And I knew I would drop them all over the driveway. Anyway, she took my parcel back for me. She unscrewed my thing for me. So I said to her, right, go in the garage. I said, and pick some wool. So she picked some purple with a sparkle, which I was keeping for myself, but never mind. Purple with a sparkle and emerald green with a sparkle. So shall I use you? I said, yeah, take them. Anyway, she saw me big pile of cardboard in the garage, so she said, oh, I'll take that cardboard for you when we next go to the tip. Well worth 2 packets of wool. Hi, Lizzie. You usually watch me on a Sunday morning. You sat in bed crocheting a blanket for your daughter? Well, see, I usually ask people what they were doing, and Lizzie's come in and told me what she's doing. Yeah, I thought it was well worth 2 packets of wool, Nathan. For somebody taking me every parcel back and somebody going to take me cardboard to the tip. Well worth 2 packets of wool. Being as I bought them other lots that haven't even made it to the garage yet. But I tell you, it's gone That £1.99 100 gram has gone back up to £4.30. So I got 36 balls of it all in all. So I reckon I've saved £72. When you say it like that, Val, it sounds all right, doesn't it? We saved £72. I'd be like Amora. She priced what she bought in Turkey when she came back, and she reckoned she'd saved over 100 and something pounds. She said it was almost the fare to go to Turkey. Yeah. So if anybody wants to pay for me a ticket to go to Istanbul, feel free. Well, you've been making it for 2 years. Well, if it was me making a blanket, it'd be more than 2 years, Lizzie. I'm not into blanket making. Lap blanket is about as much as I do, and I still haven't sewn all the tails in yet on that black blanket I was doing for the, the nursing home. Everybody who's seen it loves it and says, are you doing another one? I went, not for a while, no. No. I don't mind doing the granny squares, I just hate all the stitching in, all the end bits. I make granny. I haven't made one of them yet, an Agatha shawl. No. It's on YouTube, by the way, anybody who wants to look what an Agatha shawl is. It's it's a tutorial, I think, isn't it, on YouTube. I'm too busy doing these. I've only been given small balls, so I haven't got enough, I haven't been given enough in one bulk to make a big shawl in one colour. I've got enough to make another one of these with all the bits. Oh, you watched it? Oh, yeah, I want to watch that. It's Crochet, Julie, Crochet. I think. It is, isn't it, Sandra? It's Crochet. Thursday Murder Club. I'm so peeved it's on Netflix because I don't have Netflix. I'm hoping eventually it might drift its way onto the normal telly. Sometimes do that. Somebody else is watching I Fought the Law. I don't watch much telly, to be quite truthful. I really don't. I'm looking forward to, things coming back on, if they come back on normal telly, like Shetland and Call the Midwife. When they come back on normal telly. I'm so sick of things being on things you have to pay for. You're paying what through the nose for a TV license, and yeah, they are Julie Ophelia Talks channel. I did look at it when you told me about it, Sandra, but I'm just busy at the minute doing all these other bits and bobs. As I say, I haven't got enough of one colour to do one for, not for me or golden oldies at the moment. I'll probably get given some more wool, people. I'm trying to downsize and people keep giving me more. Sorry, Julie, I wasn't meaning that at you. But maybe I will make one in one colour then. Yay! But people give me bits, is what I meant to say. People keep giving me bits and bobs, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Chris. I don't see why. They want you to. I mean, it's so much a month, and I don't like committing myself to something that you have to pay for each month. We've been through that before with all this editing software and stuff. I would far rather buy a disc or something than you install it on your computer than get these things, for editing videos where you have to pay $9.90. It's only $9.90 a month. But when you're on a budget and you've got 2 or 3 things that are $9.99 a month, it's a lot. It's a big chunk out of your blooming money. It's only this, it's only that. The only one I don't begrudge is the Amazon Prime. because, you know, the amount of stuff I order off Amazon, I would have to pay postage. So my £8.99 a month, whatever it is, I've spent that on postage, if you know what I mean, every month. So I don't begrudge that one. But everything else, no. The worst of all was Sky. Oh, gee, God, that Sky went up. Rocket, rocket, rocket. I was practically giving them my pension. It was ridiculous. And I thought, just watch, catch up, you know, or I'll just watch YouTube. I'm not a movie buff. I don't tend to watch movies. And a lot of the modern movies, I don't like them anyway. You know, they're all fighting or weird or sci-fi or something daft, I think. I'd far rather watch the old things, you know, the old comedy things and the old things. I'd rather watch them. I like watching Talking Pictures. They have all the old black and white movies and everything on there. It's free to join. So if you like black and white movies, old movies, just watch TPTV, Talking Pictures TV. Yeah, I'm not what you call a normal TV watcher. Somebody stopped me once in the street. We're doing a survey on what you watch on TV, blah, de, blah, de, blah. And back then it was all like, you know, opportunity knocks and stuff like that. And they're saying, do you watch this? No. Do you watch that? No. Do you watch Coronation Street? No. Do you watch EastEnders? No. Hi, Mark. Everything she said to me, I was like, no, no. She goes, do you watch TV? And I went, yeah. I said, I watch it. So, but I don't watch any of the soaps. I don't watch any of the stuff that you're telling me about, you know, like reality TVs. I said, I don't watch any of that. So she said, well, what do you watch? So I rhymed off what I did watch. And she went, oh, none of them are on my list. I went, no, they wouldn't be, would they? The only thing I miss off Sky was like I think it was with the Geography Channel or the History Channel. I miss those on Sky. But apart from that, no, don't miss anything. A lot of the movies on Sky, you've seen them all a million times before. You're like, how many times do they put this, you know, on the movie channel? I mean, I still look on the catch up, you know, the Radio Timesy thing that what's on, and I'm thinking, God, they never have anything new. Or if they do have a new movie on Sky, they rehash it over and over and over again. I still don't want to pay, Nathan. I'm still not paying £4.99 a month. They can go and tickle off. I'll just stick with my YouTube and my catch up telly. I watch so many things on YouTube, so many people on YouTube. I don't mean crafting, I mean otherwise, other programs, not just craft ones. That I can fill an evening just watching YouTube, yeah. Oh, did you? Oh, that's nice. Normally they don't they don't know I exist. Do you know, the other day when I did a video, I don't mean a live video, the other day when I did a video, I had 300 and something views, which is great. 33 thumbs up. Yeah, sorry, but you know, excuse me. Yeah, you have it and don't watch. I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't watch it, honestly, Nathan. I wouldn't watch it. because I don't want to watch films. So what else is on Netflix? I'm not interested in films, most of them. The odd one I wouldn't mind watching, but most of them, no. I've not even got a burning urge to watch Wicked or anything like that. Yeah. God, my phone. Zip, zip. Do you know, when I'm on my own, it never rings. The other, on Wednesday when I was in knit club, it was just bzz, 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 bzz. Somebody said to me, aren't you popular? I said, I'm never popular when I'm on my own. God, Bees shared 23 photographs with me. That's nice. Don't know what they are. And Sheila's still going through her knitting patterns. If I started going through my knitting patterns, it would be epic. It'd be a video a day for a year. That's how many I've got. When the shop closed, I think I brought them all home with me. Or I bought a copy of every pattern home with me. And I've got two Billy bookcases full of crochet books and knitting books, you know, proper books. I've got a great big stack of crochet, Simply Crochet or Crochet Today magazines, and I got rid of all the ones before I came to Fleetwood. These are only what I've had since I came to Fleetwood from Cleveland's. I gave a big pile to Sue, you know, in Scotland, big cardboard box full, full of magazines. I gave her. So I've accumulated these since I come to Fleetwood. I wouldn't mind. I never look at hardly, and the ones recently have been absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. There's usually an odd one in a magazine every couple of months that I quite like. But I've not crocheted or anything out of any of the magazines for about the last 6 months. There's been nothing in that I've fancied. And I keep thinking, I'll get rid of them, I'll get rid of them. But what happens is I usually give the free gifts away. So when you come to put them on eBay, they want the whole magazine, including the free gift, and I've given it away. You know, if it's crochet hooks or buttons or goggly eyes or something, I've usually given them away to people who make toys. So I've just got the magazine without the free gifts. Mainly I sell them for about £2, so what? They're grumbling. I mean, they cost £9.99 now. A blinking issue when I'm selling them for £2 and they're going, oh, but where's the free gift? And I'm like, what do you want? Jam on it, as my mother would say. But people don't read things. I mean, I used to use my doll as a mannequin for the baby things. And I used to put, even in the title, you know, cardigan, no doll included, yeah? And the cardigan would be like about £10. When you think I paid about £25 for this doll. And then you get messages saying, is a doll included for that price? Like, no. If you want to give me £35 for the cardigan and the doll, you know, yeah. It's a wonder they didn't ask me if, you know, Paris the mannequin was included in the price. People just do not read the descriptions. You can put on doll not included everywhere in block capitals, and they still say, is that the price for the doll and the cardigan? Nope. I mean, I read somewhere that one lady had written to, I think it was Etsy, or written to something saying she was very disappointed with this woman because she hadn't sent this doll or something. And it was quite plain, no doll included. Oh, I've heard some tales about people who've ordered things on Vinted and got something completely different. Yeah, somebody got something that was packed in a chip bag, didn't they, or something? A bag of frozen chips they'd used as a bag, yeah. Complete with crumbs, yeah. I've not bought anything through Vinted. I know a lot of people do, but I've never actually seen anything I liked yet. Oh, the fish finger at the bottom. I've seen somebody pack something in a chip bag, a bag of frozen chips. But there was no chips there. There was crumbs in the bottom, like the bin chips, yeah. I wouldn't dare do it. Oh, yeah. What puts me off Vinted is they put these dresses on Vinted and they're never ironed. They're all screwed up. They look like they've been in the bottom of somebody's wardrobe forever. And I'm like, well, if you want to sell it, you could at least iron it. Right, what colour shall I have next? Have I got any turquoise? I've not had any of that for a bit. Oh, I've not got turquoise there. I've got turquoise in this bag. I'm looking for a colour I've not had for a while. I've had green. I've not had that. That's sort of like a duck egg colour. It looks a bit grey, but it's a duck egg, I think. I'll put that in. You got the fish finger free, yeah. What puts me off buying things is I have got things from eBay sometimes. When they arrive, they stink of cigarettes. And not being a smoker, I'm like, ugh. I mean, whenever I'm selling anything, I always put like smoke and pet free house because you don't want it full of dog hairs, do you? Or smelling of dogs when it arrives. But I mean, my wool, when I sold it, it was in the shed. So I'd still say it was dog free because the dogs never went in the shed, yeah? Yeah, when you get some clothing, you can't wash it out. It just stinks. I mean, if people want to smoke, fine. But if you want to sell your stuff on eBay, then at least spray it with Febreze or something or wash it. Because it lingers. I mean, I've heard of people buying wool, on a second-hand shop, stall, shop thing, site. And it coming and it reeks, cigarettes. And they're like, how can I get rid of this smell? I don't want to crochet with it and then have to wash it. Ugh. I mean, somebody gave us some wool one time when we were not the when I was in Prestwich at the wool place that we were the knit club. Somebody brought this wool in a great big bag, and it just reeked all this wool, and nobody wanted to take it home even. We're like, well, we can't leave it here in the pub. Well, they have them little Maya. They don't have them anymore now, but they do have them little like bus shelter things outside the hospital where there's people smoke. Yeah, yeah. If people want to smoke, but I mean, if you're going to be crafting and it's things you're going to sell, some people are allergic to cigarette smoke and stuff, or allergic to cats or dogs. I mean, luckily my dogs were never, well, the dogs were never around when I was crocheting things to sell. But I always used to wash things before I sent them away, when I was selling things. I always used to wash them and then put them away from any, in a bag or something, fold them up and put them in a garment bag so that they didn't get contaminated. Oh, I once went out with a boy and his mother must have been chip mad. You know, we used to have the old chip pan, and it must have been the old lard or whatever they used to use it. And his top coat, you know, his outer coat used to, oh God, he used to smell like a chip shop. I couldn't go out with him in the end. I couldn't stand being next to him, you know, in the cinema. All he could smell was chips. And I thought, oh. And I said to him one time, where do you hang your coat? And he said, oh, the back of the kitchen door. I thought, oh God, he must have off chips. So that was the end of a budding romance. My mum said, he seemed like a nice boy. I said, no, he smelled of chips. And she went, oh, yeah, fussy. I went, well, I'm not going out with anybody who smells of chips all the time. I've always been a bit. What's it? Same with people who smoked. I never went out with anybody who smoked. If you want to smoke, that's fine, but you don't go out with me. You're not kissing me with smoky breath. Hi, Connie. I'm being naughty. I'm eating minty matchmakers. I buy a load of fruit and I'm sat here eating matchmakers. Naughty me. Oh, he just stunk of chips, Chris. He did. All his coat and his clothes. Ugh. It was like he lived in a chip shop and he didn't. When I was at school, one of my young friends, at little school, her mum and dad had a chip shop and they lived behind and above this chip shop. And she was paranoid. She used to always say, you can't smell chips on me, can you? She just really hated her mum and dad having this chip shop. But it was back in the day where you used to live above the store, you know. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. How far are you getting on with your sweater, Val? I've printed the pattern off. It's as far as I've got. It's a paid-for pattern. Oh, I don't mind a chip butter. It's just that I want to date somebody who smelled like a chip butter. Oh, where's my pattern gone? That's what I'm going to do next. Not in the well, it is in the multicolour. You know the ones I've just bought? The one that's got the greens in it, I'm going to do that in it. It's a paid for pattern, by the way, so I'm not showing you anything I shouldn't. Yeah. But there is actually a YouTube video which is very, very similar to that pattern. It isn't that pattern, but it's very, very similar in looks. I can't remember who's done it now. But, you know, if you've got an hour to spare like I do and you sort of trawling YouTube, typing in crochet sweaters and things like that, you get all sorts of things. And you're thinking, I'm sure that's a pattern I've got to pay for. And you find that there's a video of a tutorial, yeah. It's like that hexagon cardigan. I didn't follow Crafton and Copper, but I just looked how she started it off, you know, with the 6 bits in it, and then I just did my own thing after that. All I needed to know was how to start it off. Well, then I didn't follow her pattern at all. I just did my own thing. Because I don't like big wide sleeves. And if you keep on going with the hexie until it's as big for you what you want for your bust, you finish up with sleeves that are like, you know, massive, they're like bat wings nearly. So I stop at a certain size and then do extra length on everywhere, really. Well, I could show you, couldn't I? Oh, you're doing Christmas tree wreaths, are you, for Sonia, yeah? Oops, get me cardy. Show you me cardy. Oh, oh, gosh, my knees. I'm getting old, people. Getting old. No, I just do the hexie. And you can see where I've stopped it. Right there. Because I'll stop it because I don't want a wide sleeve. So I stop it when it gets to be that size. If you're with me. That size. Then I crochet extra on the sleeve length. And I crochet. I do mine different because I like a lower neck. So I do extra rows at the front. And then I do extra rows in the back. You know, so it meets in the middle, yeah. And that's what I do. So mine doesn't turn out as big and bag and floppy as some other people's. And it was amazing how many people said, how on earth did you get, that shaped neck? And I went, well, when you're doing the front panels, lots of people just keep doing a hexie and then they finish up with straight fronts, from the shoulder down. And I don't like that look, Yeah, it's very green, isn't it? This is the wicked colour. Apparently it's green but reverts to a witch. I'm not sure what the black reverts to, but because there's black in it as well. But it's very, very bright. Yeah, I started it on the Saturday night and I finished it on, let me think, Wednesday. Yeah, it took me from Saturday, I think, till Wednesday to do it, yeah. So, and I also do mine on a smaller hook. I don't like big and floppy. So, anyway, it's turned out nice, I think. Turned out nice again. I sound like George Formby. Oh. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing a red cardigan, like I said before, there's red on the end of my dress. It's one of Boho Moonbeams and Mayhems. My niece says to me, oh, you've lost a load of weight. I went, no, I'm not wearing a big floppy flock. I'm not wearing a sheen flop. I'm wearing something that actually fits me. Oh. I mean, this is a size 20. And the difference in size between this and the sheen one that's like that fits me where it touches me. I'm sure it's an American size 20. I'm going to have to run some tucks in it somewhere before I wear that dress again. Oh, this, like I said, this is 20 and this fits exact. So, obviously, there's different size 20s. I haven't ironed my other dress yet, though. Otherwise, I would have worn my new dress, but I haven't ironed it yet. I showed it my niece. She went, oh, where are you? She knows me too well. Where are you? I'm really tempted to order the green in that skirt, but nope. Nope. You've just spent far too much this month. You're on a go slow. Then I had to buy a new toaster, didn't I? Oh, which I wasn't banking on doing. Still, never mind. It's only money. I didn't win on the Euro. I had one ticket, a lucky dip, on the Euro last night. Didn't win. And I've got my ticket for tonight. But I'm sure Linda will have checked hers and found out she's not won. Yeah, I haven't got green to match that, but I will wear that with black because I think it's bold enough on its own to liven up I've got black t-shirts, black pants, and I've got black skirts. I've got black dresses. I think black is a very good basic. You know, I love a plain black dress or plain black trousers because that means you can jazz them up. You know, if I could only have like one kind of thing dress in my wardrobe, I'd pick a black one because you can just put so many bright colours with it. Yeah, but I'm going to do, when I do that sweater, I'm going to use that one that I bought, you know, that's got greens in it. Hike, I think it's called. Hike, yeah. So I'm quite chuffed at saving £72 though. Woohoo! Just made me weak. Made up for spending the money I didn't have. I'm rich in love. I wish I was, yeah. You didn't win, no, and I won't have one either, Linda, but I'm not checking till tomorrow. But I won't have one. I know I won't have one. The only thing I ever win is lucky dips or unlucky dips because they never win me anything. It was a lucky dip I had last night. It didn't win me anything. I don't know why they call them a lucky dip. I did say to somebody, I think it was Nathan, I asked, has anybody ever won the lottery with a lucky dip ticket? And he said, yes, somebody did. Somebody did. Somebody loves me, I wonder who. It'll probably be a dog or a cat. Oh dear, apart from that, won't be anybody human. Nobody with a pulse. I wouldn't know what to do with a fella if I had one. Well, I probably could learn, but you know, I forgot. It's been that long. Oh dear. I tell you, I'm looking for a man who's got a hammer and a driving licence. A hammer, a screwdriver, and a driving licence is what I'm looking for. Preferably a bit of a toy boy, you know. Somebody who's still able to walk about, you know. Stand on a ladder and decorate, you know. I don't want much, do I? Oh dear. Oh, my niece has put me big, I don't know what to call it. It's like a tablecloth thing, but it's got a big pattern on it. It's purple. And we pinned it on the wall in my bedroom so that it's massive. It's like almost like a bed cover. She's pinned it on the wall for me. It's purple with all these. It wants ironing, otherwise I'd take a picture of it. With like a tree on it and animals and birds. And I said, that's a bit more lively than that pale blue wallpaper. Because I can't do decorating at the minute. I've put it up so at least my bedroom looks more purple now. And I still haven't put my decals on my Billy bookcases yet. I'll maybe do that. And actually, I want to finish the backyard off tomorrow. I haven't got much to do. Just taking the dead plants out of the plant pots, you know. It was just looking very untidy because that high wind had blown everything all over the place. And loads of the plants had died anyway, so I thought, well, I can use the plant pots next year, can't I? So I've put 3 bags in my normal bin, so I wonder I don't get shouted at. I'm not paying for a green bin, I haven't got a garden. Yeah, well, you found a cheaper place, didn't you, Val? So have a look on your cheaper place. Because it was £3.99, but I couldn't. I've not used that other place, so I was a bit doubtful. So my niece was paying for her own wool for this. So it's £3.99 on Wool Warehouse plus the postage. But she didn't mind. It's cost her £29, I think, all in all. But it's very striking. I think it's one of the best colours they've done. You know me, I like my bright colours, but because I did buy some boho spirit in like a pale green and grey, and I'm like, why did you buy that? But I think I bought it with the view of making a cardigan to sell, because it was at the time when I still had the shop. But I watch Crafty Cleggs, you know, Jeanette, and she's fuming over Etsy. You know, they've just took £5 off her for selling her project bag, and she says, I'm absolutely fed up with them. But they are, the pricing out of the market. That's why I cannot open my Etsy shop anymore. Knitting Network is disappearing. I don't watch that. I don't know what it is. That Creating Crafts coming on again, isn't it? It's been bought out by, oh God, somebody told me. Oh, Hobbycraft, is it? Hobbycraft? It's starting up again. I never watched it because it was mostly sewing stuff and stuff like that. And the only other time they did crochet, there were kits was so... Oh, it's an online wool shop. No, I've not seen that. No, Val found a cheaper place for this boho, but I'd not heard of the shop, so I was a bit dubious about recommending it, you know, for my niece to order from there. So she said, where did you get yours from? I said, well, where? She said, oh, well, show me the site and I'll pay for it. So she did. So that'll come probably before the end of next week. They're pretty quick with their orders, Wool Warehouse. I used to like the other one, you know, the one that went, what was it called? Not Wool Warehouse, the other one. And then it went bump, didn't it? Went off. But the customer service went dreadful at the end. You couldn't get anything from them. I can't remember who it was called now. There were the two big ones. There was Wool Warehouse and this other one. And I used to order from the other one because it was great. And then all of a sudden it went dreadful. You weren't getting your stuff. It was taking weeks to arrive and everybody was complaining about it. Then the next thing was it went bump. I miss Lolly's. I don't see why she couldn't have carried on doing it online if we wanted to close the shop. But I think it was illness and she lost her partner. I think that's what it was. But she could have kept on us online, I think, you know, and just done it online. I used to love the stuff from her. I moved to Blackpool and she shuts down. Well, not Blackpool, but you know what I mean. She was in Blackpool, so I was within striking distance. She probably shut down. And then the other one in Blackpool shut down. Mrs. Somebody's Wool Emporium or something. Mrs. Johnson's, that's it. She shut down. So I thought, oh, great. I have to order online. I've come to a wool desert. I've got the Naked Sheep in Cleveland, and then there's Jubilee on the market in Fleetwood, but I never go there. Not because of Julie, it's just don't go to Fleetwood Market. But I haven't been to the Naked Sheep because, like, the wool I've been ordering lately, she didn't sell it. She didn't stock it, so I couldn't have bought it from her if I'd have wanted to. I mean, the prices are very competitive at the Naked Sheep, yeah. Linda goes in, don't you, when you come down? Whenever Linda pays a visit to Blackpool, she usually frequents the Naked Sheep. It is nice to go in proper shops, though, because you can see things up close and personal. I mean, it's all right ordering online if you know what you're ordering, isn't it? You know, if you've bought it from a shop somewhere, want more of it, and they don't have it or something. I can't remember where I first bought my boho spirit from. I think I saw somebody with it online, actually. You know, with something that they made with it on a YouTube or something. And I thought, and I ordered some. And when it came, I thought, I like this. And since then, I've nearly had every colour I think that's going. I don't like the pastel ones, but it's just not me. Yeah. Well, we all had to really order on lockdown, didn't we? I can't remember what that other wool shop was called. I think it did close down more or less during lockdown. I know there was the wool warehouse and the other one. They were both equally as big as each other at one time. But not whether it was mismanagement or what it was, but the other one went to the wall. Yeah. I mean, my favourite of all time used to be the ice yarn. Oh, Lolly's Little Wool Shack, yeah. I've got some real good buy. In fact, I still got some of her wool in the shed. You know, the cakes with the bright colours in, which I won't get rid of. When I used to show my wool, you know, what was in the shed when I lived in Fleetwood, and people used to say, "Oh, you're going to get rid of that?" And I'm like, "No." If you want to sell it, let us know. I'm not, no. You know, the cakes with the bright colours in. I'm like, no, I can't get any more of it. No, I am not. And it was the same with the ice yarn. People are homing on the ice yarn. You've got to sell the ice yarn. No, can't get any more of it, so I'm not selling it. It's mine, all mine. Whether I use it or not is another matter, but it's mine. There's some wool that you use, and there's other wool that you just pat and look at and think that's nice. Yeah, I'm like that with me hand-dyed yarn. You know, I've got about 4 or 5 skeins still, and I just look at it and pat it and think, oh, it's nice. That's lovely. That too nice for socks. Yeah. I used to like Regina. Was it called Regia for socks? But I got rid of all that. I haven't got any of that left. They used to do a 6-ply Regia, and it knitted up really fast. The grey yarn I came across in the boxes. A lot of it, yeah. A lot of it's gone to Sarah, because Sarah's grey and black, you know, she's like very goth. So a lot of the grey's gone. Couldn't be coping with all that grey and beige. Greige. I only bought it because it was when I was crocheting for to sell. Because grey and beige used to sell. I hate the colours myself, but I mean, they used to sell. So that's why I bought it all. And of course, then I had to shut the shop for various reasons, and it never got crocheted. It will. When I get my knitting machine out, you see a lot of it's 4-ply. That's fingering weight here in America. A lot of it's 4-ply. And I've still got those machine coils that I need to do something with eventually. I mean, I don't mind crocheting the machine coils up, you know, for things myself. I think this one was 4-ply that I've done here. Can't remember if it was 4-ply double knit. One of the two. Yeah, I don't mind 4-ply crochet. I wouldn't knit it. Ooh. When you think about it, all our grandparents and even my mum, all the patterns like from the 50s, 40s and 50s were all 3-ply and 4-ply. That's lace weight and fingering weight here in America. Plus the fact all the vintage patterns only go to a 38 bust, so everybody must have been slender back in the day. I have to do jiggery pokery when I do me vintage patterns, I have to sort of add a bit on, to make them a little bit bigger. I do love vintage patterns, though. I really do. I'm not quite into the 40s with the big humpy sleeves, but I do like a lot of the older patterns. But I find them much easier to read. They don't tell you all the unnecessary bump. I mean, this pattern I've printed out. I've only printed out some of the pages because I think there's 13 pages altogether. Okay, maybe some people need all that bump, but I don't. I'd rather somebody just told me increase either side and get on with it. Whereas other people who are newer knitters, they don't understand it at all. Yeah. Well, they were more or less, Val, because food was short, wasn't it? People didn't have the money. And also, I think a lot of it more is to do with the fact everybody walked everywhere and people had more manual jobs. You didn't sit down on a computer all day long. People walked everywhere. So I think that has got a lot to do with it. I mean, when you think how many potatoes and things people used to, if you look at wartime rations and wartime food and that, there was full of potatoes because, that's how they filled up, wasn't it? Everything was mash, wasn't it? Everything was potatoes. If you had a stew, it was mostly potatoes, not a lot of meat. So I think it was the fact that we used to walk it all off because, I used to walk everywhere when I was up to me getting the car. I walked everywhere. It was just considered to be a normal mode of transport, wasn't it, walking? I mean, when I was at the shop, I was on my feet all day long, never sat down, and I was up and down the stairs because the stock room was upstairs. So I naturally ate a lot more than I eat now, but my weight stayed down because I was always on the go. Oh, food, yeah, they put additives in. They make it so you want more, don't they? I've read about that, yeah. Where, the fast food places, I'm not naming any particular ones, I think they're all as bad as each other, but they put stuff in that makes you want to eat more of it. Maybe I'm like that with these matchsticks. Not matchsticks, matchmakers. Keep dipping in. Because they're little, they look innocuous, don't they? And there's probably a load of million calories in one of them sticks. And I think we eat a lot of processed food nowadays, which they never had in our parents' time. I think the most we had was maybe a tin of peas or something like that. But there wasn't all these cans of food, and frozen food was no. Frozen food was really ice cream, I think, when I was a kid. Nobody had a freezer. It's all preservatives, they stuff in things, isn't it? Whereas our parents and grandparents used to shop more or less day to day. I mean, I've just bought in, because my niece took me to Morrison's, I just bought in a pile. I mean, I had a trolley full of stuff. What do you think I live on my own? But I bagged a lot of it up individually and put it in the freezer, so that it won't go off and that I can use it next week or the week after. Because I bought some like chicken drumsticks and I bought pork chops and other things. So I bagged them up separately and put them in the freezer. I bought 2 packs of bacon. I put 1 pack in the freezer. Stuff like that, which you would never have been able to do, back in the day because you didn't have a fridge. We never had a fridge until I was a teenager. Definitely didn't have a freezer. All there was a little ice box, if you remember, at the top of your fridge, and if you were lucky, you get a little block of ice cream in there. along with the ice cubes. But there was no room to put any actual frozen food in there. But, it's just the way we eat has changed dramatically, I think, in the last, 30, 40 years, I think, the way we eat. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTubers and I'm thinking, do you ever cook? Some of the younger ones, I watch the Crochet channels and they're like, well, just nipping out for something to eat now. And I'm like, do you never cook at home? These 20-odd-year-old sweet little things. We're just nipping out to so-and-so or just going to such a thing. And I'm like, don't you ever cook? Do you never buy anything and cook it at home? I don't know whether it's a thing, I don't think we eat quite as much fast food in England, but I might be wrong. Maybe it's just me. I don't eat fast food really. I call fast food when I go to the cafe, for brunch. But it's a social gathering really on a Thursday. I don't go for the food. I go because I'm meeting my friends, we're having a chit chat, something to eat and a drink, yeah. But I don't order in. I don't, have KFC or McDonald's or anything. I can't tell you the last time I went to McDonald's. Probably about 10 years ago, I think. If that. Maybe longer than that. I can't actually remember going in a McDonald's. No, within my memory. I did order KFC one time when they were away and I was on my own and it was horrible. Oh, I thought, well, that's taught you a lesson. You don't order that again. It cost me a fortune to order it and get it delivered. And I didn't enjoy it at all. I thought, why have I ordered this? Don't bother. I think the only time I've ordered fast food has been Chinese, but not while I've been here. I've not had any fast food delivered here. Well, I did when we first moved in, the first day we were here, because we moved in and, of course, we hadn't got any food or anything set up or anything. So we did order, I think we ordered Chinese that came. But I've not ordered any since, yeah. I prefer to cook anyway. I'm not averse to some fast food in the fact I buy ready meals, but, I try to get more healthy ready meals. But, basically some days I'm lazy. I think we're all guilty of that, lazy cooking, lazy eating. But I try to limit things, like bread and pasta and potatoes and rice, because being diabetic, there's a lot of hidden sugars in stuff. It's amazing how much sugar is in, like, these processed foods. It's no wonder we're, everybody's diabetic. Well, not everybody, but more people than usual. I mean, when I was a kid, I don't remember hardly anybody being diabetic. Now, everybody I talk to is either pre-diabetic or diabetic. Oh, I did get my injection, this prescription. I had to sign for it, though. She said, anybody that's on that now has got to sign for it because of all these shortages of it. I mean, they've put the price up, haven't they, those injections? They've tripled in price. It'll sort the wheat from the chaff, won't it? Because it's gone up in price. The people who don't need it, that just buy it because they want to lose a few pounds, it'll sort them out, won't it? They won't be buying it unless they're pop stars and full of money, loaded with it. Look at me ball. What a weird little ball. Yeah, she that's how she starts the ball off, like that, like big wide. Must be around her hand or something. But as for losing weight, it hasn't worked with me, has it? And it obviously hasn't controlled my addiction to these matchmakers. I still like toffee. Although I do try not to. That's why I bought a load of fruit. I thought, Janet, you're eating far too much rubbish. Get some fruit while you're at the supermarket. But I think I told you I used to go to Aldi and I've gone off their fruit. It doesn't last 2 seconds. So I thought, well, I was in Morrison's, I thought, this looks nice and firm looking. So I bought quite a load of fruit. So I shall be on a fruit to this week and next. Yeah. We've got no Sophie tonight. No Sophie. Must be out on the razzle. No Shad. You this social life. You must have gone to a hi Nancy. Must have gone to another fish fry. Right, have we rewound it? That took some saying. Like I needed new teeth. Right, what colour shall I have next? Well, there's turquoise there, but I don't know whether there's enough for a roll. I think there might be. I've got another ball of it if I run out, yeah. Dee. As I say, I hope one of the ladies likes pastels. Everybody at Knit Club liked it. It's just me, I'm not a pastel person. I mean, even my niece, when she saw that pink sweater I just knitted, she went, "Pink? You?" I went, "Yeah." She went, so unlike you. I went, "Yeah, I know. Whether it'll get worn or not is another matter." I said, "Well, I had it in the shed, so I thought I'll knit it." She said, "It's still not like you knitting pink." I keep looking at it thinking, it's very pink. Am I going to wear that? Very pink. Maybe if I tone it down with some black or something. Or navy, Tone it down a little. My niece left for one of my cardigans that I'd knitted. It was a chunky cardigan I knitted a couple of years ago, and then after I finished it, I thought, it's not you, Janet. It's just not you. So I showed it to my niece. I said, "Yeah, it's very bold, isn't it, Nancy?" I said, I don't. I said, she said, "Well, I'll wear it in the house." I said, "Well, I don't care where you wear it." She said, "When it goes chilly at night, I'll put it on." I said, "Yeah, fine. Wear it as a bed jacket." I said, "I just know I won't wear it." So she went home with it quite happily. Yeah, my niece wants me to make her one exactly like it. Not that we move in the same circles, because we don't, but so it doesn't matter. Olga Pollet. Oh, they do some lovely crocheting, don't they? These, how can I call them? Not Bolshevik, isn't it? When they're Russian, Polish, Ukrainian, they're beautiful crocheters, aren't they? They do the most intricate patterns. I used to follow a lady that was Russian. She stopped posting. And she's fabulous things, and she used to do them really quickly, and they'd be quite fine and very, very intricate. I haven't seen her for 2 or 3 years since I've seen her. I used to be so in awe of her. She didn't do anything like mine, what I call ordinary. I mean, I crochet what I call ordinary, but some of these, what would you call them, Eastern Bloc? Some of these ladies, they're just fantastic crocheters. Put you to shame. Yeah, she might be in English, but is she from another country? Where's she from? I'll write her name down so I don't forget. Olga. Polotava. Yeah, Ukrainian, I think they are. The Ukrainian, Russian, Polish, whatever else, yeah. I think the lady I used to follow, I think she was either Ukrainian or Polish. But oh, the stuff I used to make, oh God, she's such a lovely grocer. Now, when I went to Turkey about 20 odd years ago, the cleaner who cleaned the apartments that we were staying in, she was crocheting like for a tablecloth thing, you know, and that very fine crochet cotton stuff and a little thin hook. Oh, the crocheting was absolutely fabulous. But did you see that stuff that Amora bought in Turkey? Woo! Gorgeous stuff. Beautiful. I want you all to come up and pay for me to go to Turkey, to Istanbul. Oh, I don't mind doing fine crochet for myself, but I don't like doing fine crochet like to sell when I used to do it to sell because people don't want to pay, you know, for the time it takes. Because it takes a long time to do fine crochet. And as I say, I used to get the very, very big ladies that used to want me to crochet very thin wool and didn't want to pay the price. I remember just before I gave up crocheting, I crocheted a load of shawls in quite fine, it would be like 3 or 4 ply. Beautiful shawls they were. But did anybody want to buy them? Did they, heck? And I wasn't asking a fortune for them. I mean, somebody said to me, "Oh, sell your stuff on Vinted." I went, no. My friend put something up on Vinted for a fiver, and it had cost her about 15 quid in the first place. So she put it on for a fiver, and a woman said, "I'll give you £1." And she went, "No, it's a fiver or nothing, you know." "I'll give you £1," she said. I believe they do that. I believe they barter. I'll be getting really cross with them. I'll be saying "P off," you know, or "F off." If somebody offered me £1 for something that was a fiver, I'm saying, "Are you joking me? Are you joking?" Go and look in Primark, see what you get for £1. Must be getting windy. My wind chimes just clanged on the window. At the moment, I'm working on a long shawly thing. I'm crocheting. I keep getting given bits and pieces from the ladies at Knit Club because they know I'm making shawls for and lap blankets and things for the old people. I'm getting a bundle of them. I've got 9 so far. I've already given 4, and I've got 9 and 2 lap blankets ready to go to an old folks' home when I've finished them. So that's what I'm doing at the moment now. So this one's all pastel colours because the lady who normally gives me her bits and pieces has been making hats for premature babies. So obviously she's just been using pastel colours. So when she doesn't have enough to do a hat, she gives me the little ball that's left over. So, like I said, because everybody knows I've been doing these shawls, like, well, charity or whatever you want to call them, They both, oh yeah, we've got lots of bits, and they keep gathering. I'm supposed to be using up my bits, and I'm finishing up using their bits as well. Not that I'm complaining, and I'm sure the old people won't complain when they. As my friend keeps telling me, you're probably crocheting for people that are younger than you, and you keep calling them the old people. The less fortunate old people, let's just call them that then. Yeah, it's a paid for shawl pattern. I quite like it because it stays on the shoulders. It's granny striped shawl, but it's such a long shawl. It stays on the shoulders rather than falling off. I mean, I've done the ordinary triangular ones, but they tend to fall off. But this one starts off wide like that, and then you sort of increase in the middle and you increase at either end. So it stays on the shoulders. I've made some of the others because they're easier, aren't they? You know, just the ordinary granny stitch shawls. But as I say, these take a lot longer because they're bigger, but I just if I got one colour, I'll make like a virus shawl or something. The lady who gave me all this, somebody had given her some like a royally blue, and she's classed as being blind. She can actually see a teeny weeny bit. Oh, she got a new scarf out now, has she? I don't test patterns because I don't use the right wool, do I? Yeah, the lady who's blind got given this wool. It's like a kind of a royally blue, and she said she can't work it. It's like this kind of colour I'm wearing. So some old lady might get a shawl in one colour. I'll probably do a virus shawl because I know that pattern off by heart. I might have a look at this other pattern, this whatever shawl it's called. That oh, I forgot what you call it now. I keep wanting to call it Alfie shawl. Oh dear. She gets all wound up, doesn't she, about her patterns though. She's really goes into intricate details and this and that and the other. And I mean, I wouldn't be using her. She always uses hand dyed wool stuff. So I mean, I wouldn't be using that. So it's no good me offering to test a pattern because I never use the right wool, do I? I use icky acrylic because I even get dermatitis on my fingers if I'm crocheting wool. You know, it goes through your fingers. I can get dermatitis, contact dermatitis, they call it. I didn't realise what it was, and then I realised it's because I'm crocheting wool. Or I can get it with hand-dyed yarn, you know, if they've used a certain dye and they haven't set it properly or something, and it comes off on your fingers. I can get contact dermatitis with that as well. I'm a weird one, I know. I'm a strange one. Well, I'm not using the right wool, and I'm not using the right hook. It's supposed to be done in fine yarn, 4-ply or fingering. It's supposed to be used on a much smaller hook. And I'm using double knitted and I'm using a 5mm hook. But it works out. It just makes a bigger shawl, yeah. Yeah, she does, doesn't she? That yak wool or something, is it called? Maya, is it Maya yak or something? She was supposed to go, wasn't she, on some kind of a meet-up, and she couldn't go because of the war in Iran and Iraq, yeah. Not Iran and somewhere else, anyway. Because she's in the other bit. She's not in Iran, she's in the other bit. Yeah, she manages to get about a bit, doesn't she? But she couldn't go because it was when they cancelled all the flights, didn't they, to America? She couldn't go to where she was. Was it America? Was it France she was going to? Either way, she couldn't go, could she? And she'd been preparing all these samples for months and months and months. The Dolomites. I always think of dominoes when somebody says the Dolomites. I've just got this vision of a road dominoes. I never was much good at geography. I failed it at my GCEs. That was the one I didn't get. Geography and history I failed. Got all the others, but not geography and history. I have no interest in the history. I'm more interested in history now than I was when I was at school, because when we did history at school, it was all kings and queens and stuff like that. Whereas I watch through Lucy's lens now, and she's a social historian. Now I'm more interested in that, about people from newer history, people who worked in the cotton mills and people who did things like that. I'm more interested in that. Kings and queens, I couldn't give a hoot about. I don't care about Henry VIII and all them lot. Not even interested. But tell me social history, and things about cotton mills and, water mills, and I'm really interested in that. But that wasn't what history was like when I was at school. History was boring when I was at school. 1066 and all that, yeah. Must be windy. My little wind chime is clanging against my conservatory window. The other day when it was oh God, it was lashing down. And my wind chime was bang, bang, bang against the window. Thought it was going to break because it's glass. It's very pretty. I think I told you I didn't get a noisy one because of my next door neighbours. It's really irritating when something's going all night long. So I got a pretty one that just made a slight tinkle noise, yeah. But it still crashes against the window. Because I had nowhere to hang it in the garden. The only place I had to hang it was on the gutter on my conservatory. I've got no place else to hang it. It's like hanging baskets. I love hanging baskets. I have nowhere to hang them. I couldn't water them anyway because I'd have to get a ladder to water them. Oh, me and ladders don't see eye to eye. I get dizzy on the bottom step. Yeah. I don't know what I've done with my little scissors. I had them earlier on because I know I opened the box with them. Oh, there they are on the end of the table. I'm just going to say I knew they were in here somewhere. There we are. Look, I've got bright colours. Still got a way to go yet. I can do things like this when I'm talking or I'm at knit club or something. I save me more intricate things for when I'm on my own. I prefer something like banal, when I'm at knit club. I can just chatter. Because I do a lot of chattering, yeah. What they call it, knit and natter with the accent on the natter and not the knit, yeah. I've always said I'd love to go on a crochet retreat, but they're so expensive. Absolutely. And then would I be there amongst a load of, hand-dyed freaks? You know what I mean? So, do I really want to do that? I just want people on my wavelength to sit and have a natter with. I don't want tuition in particular. unless it was something that I can't do. But I'd love to go on, like, just a load of friends just sitting around having a crochet. Doesn't have to be an official thing, just a hotel or something somewhere, and we all sit and have a crochet. We did try to organise it once a few years back, but hotels were very, very reluctant to let you sit in the foyer, doing your crochet and having a natter. They just didn't want to know. They wanted to hire a room, you to hire a room for X number of pounds. Where we just wanted to hang out in a bar or something and have a crochet. Yeah. I would have liked to have gone to Yarndale. Not because I wanted to buy anything in particular, but I like the atmosphere. But A, I can't walk around it. B, if I go on a coach or a train, they get a bit snippy about me taking my folding scooter because it weighs too heavy. So I won't be going. I'll go to the one in Blackpool next February. That I can get there. I'll get a taxi and take my wheeler, take my walker. It's got a seat. Oh, good grief, I'd need to win the lottery for that. Anyway, I don't like Mikey. Sorry if you like Mikey, but I don't. When he first started out, he was fine. And then he got too big for his boots. A bit too big-headed he got. I went right off him after that. My friend went on one. You remember Z. Zelda. She went on one of his cruises and she absolutely hated it. She felt like killing him. He belittled her in front of everybody because she can't read a pattern. Showed her up. He was only interested in all the people that were fawning all over him. No, he used to be okay when he was first started out. I'm going many, many moons ago. And it was just him. Before he met Daniel. He was all right. I think he was actually married to a woman when I first knew him. He was a delivery driver for, I think it was Asda Walmart. He just did a bit of crochet on the side, yeah. That's how long it is since I knew him. He were all right then. But then he got fame and fortune and got a bit too big for his boots, yeah. Yeah, he probably was Mikey's male. Simon Henry, no, I've not watched him. Is he a crochet? I've not watched him at all, no. I watch a lot of YouTube, but not a lot of crafting channels. It's weird, isn't it? I'm not one for watching tutorials unless it's something I'm going to crochet. If I'm going to crochet it, I'll watch it. But if it's something that they're making that I'm not interested in, I won't watch the channel. No, I watch a lot of like upcycling, people who go thrifting, that type of things. Hi, Jane. You feeling any better? Yeah, I watch kind of lots of other channels rather than just crochet channels. And I don't watch many knitting channels because, as you know, I don't really knit much. Oh, God, I never tell anybody that. I might say that's an unusual way of crocheting to somebody. Do you remember Sheila getting in a strop because somebody told her she was holding her hoop the wrong way? She went mad. I think we all develop our own style, of crocheting and that. I think as long as you get from A to B, does it really, really matter? I mean, I watch some people, they knit it rather than crochet it. And I think, well, if you want to crochet it that way, then fine. You'd be a lot quicker if you did it the other way. But, some people just don't get that way of crocheting. I mean, when I first started crocheting, I used to do it a different way than what I do now. And I can remember my aunt who used to make the most fantastic doilies and things like that. And she used to say, "You're shoveling it, shovel, spade. You're shoveling it. You're doing that. You're shoveling. You'll never crochet as long as you're shoveling it." And she said, "You want to go in that way." And it took me ages to change from doing that to doing that, if you know what I mean. Oh, I don't like people who do membership. Well, I don't know how you think I crochet. I do that way. Some people crochet under like that, go under the wool. I go over the wool. It's just the way, I just crochet the way. I was never taught, let's just say, how to crochet. I learned from a book and I learned from my auntie telling me I did it wrong. Yeah, my son and the dogs, I don't know. I don't know. Fine, I think. He's in Spain. I don't see him. No, I think you just evolve your own way of crochet. If you get from A to B and you get there fast enough. Oh, yeah, yeah. Some people crochet. They crochet like they're knitting it. They crochet like that. I mean, I think it's weird, but if that's the way they want to do it. I mean, I tension with my left hand and crochet with my right, which might be wrong in some people's eyes. Some people just use their right hand to do the tensioning and everything, yeah. Good evening, Shad. My necklace is uneven bits of blue with pieces of silver indisposed. I don't know what it is. I think it's plastic, but I'm not too certain. It might be wood. They're all different shapes. Some are round, some are weird shaped. Whatever. Yeah, but I mean, as I say, I go, when some people are crocheting, but I don't go, oh, you're crocheting that the wrong way. Yeah, I mean, to me, I think it's the enjoyment you get out of doing your craft. Yeah. It isn't, for me, it's not the finished garment, although I do like the finished garments, don't get me wrong. I like the actual action of crocheting. That's where I get the pleasure from. That's why if I start a pattern and it doesn't make me happy, I stop and I just don't carry on with it. Yeah, I just like the action. It's very sort of soporific, very soothing. Doing the stitches, whether it's knitting or crocheting. But I hate doing a pattern, knitting or crocheting, and I hate it. I hate. It might be lovely when it's done, but I hate doing the stitch, and it's bugging me, or I hate the wool, and it's not flowing and it's not working. I just have to scrap it. I can't carry on. But to me, that's the whole point of doing the crafting. It isn't getting from A to B and finishing something. It's the enjoyment that you get from doing it. If it's cross stitching, some people go in a zone when they're cross stitching. Some people do when they're sewing, don't they? It's it's to me that's what it is. It's the action of crocheting that I like. I find it very soothing. They're going in and out, in and out, in and out. It's if you've got problems and things are going wrong in your life and things like that, you can sort of concentrate and zone out, can't you, on just doing the stitches. I mean, I find something like this is very sort of soothing because I don't have to think about it. And I just trundle along the row and get from A to B, But I hate it when people say, oh, you're doing that wrong, or because when I knit, I throw the wool when I knit. Oh, you shouldn't do that, and all that. You should be doing this, you should be doing this. I've been knitting since I was 5. You can't unlearn 70 odd years of knitting by some whippersnapper telling me I'm throwing it. I'm like, well, I'll just carry on throwing it, thank you. That's just the way I knit. There's always somebody telling you you're doing something wrong. It's like when people say to me, which crochet hooks do you prefer? I know which I prefer, but you may not prefer them. You may work better with a different kind of hook. You might like a different brand of hook to me. It doesn't mean I'm right and you're wrong. It just means that you use the implements that you're happy using. I like an inline hook. A lot of people don't. A lot of people like what I call the blob. The blobby thing on the end, the thicker end. But if that's what they like using, then fair enough. Use away. It's just, as you say, I think there's too many people have too much time on their hands. Have decided, to criticise other people, criticise their wool, criticise their pattern, criticise their hooks, criticise their needles. And I'm like, you've got too much time on your hand. Get on with your own stuff. Mind your own beeswax, as they used to say. I mean, I wouldn't dream of saying to somebody who's made a cardigan, what did you choose those colours for? They're awful, Privately, I might think, oh my God, But you don't say it. Somebody's done it. They happen to like those colours. Good evening, Shad. You it's like if a friend asks me an opinion, if we're in a dress shop and she hasn't bought something and she's trying something on, I might say to her, well, I preferred you in the other dress. Yeah. But if she's bought that dress and she says to me, do you like me in this? I wouldn't say, oh, no, it's awful. No, you look horrible in that. Or you look fat in that. I would never. I'd say, oh, yeah, it's lovely. It's all that matter. If they ask your opinion before they buy something, that's a different matter. But yeah. But I think too many people think they've got the right to criticise you. I mean, I've got broad shoulders, I don't care. But but some people do get a little bit upset, They've put their heart and soul into something, like a blanket or something that they've made, and the colours are absolutely dire, And you think privately, oh my God, I pity the person who that's going to be given to, you know. But you don't say it out loud. I just try and find something nice to say. Oh, it's lovely, lovely stitch work. You know? Oh, you're sewing it together very well. Think of something positive. We were talking about that this afternoon, me and my niece. Saying it's better to have like a positive attitude when you get up in the morning, expect it to be a good day, rather than get up in the morning expecting it to be dreadful, you know. Oh, Sheila gets very angry, doesn't she? If somebody wants to criticise her. You know, you can never actually say, I am right and they are wrong. It's all a matter of opinion, isn't it, really? She doesn't take criticism very good, does she? If somebody tells you she's crocheting it wrong, yeah. She gets quite upset with them. She crochets her way and I crochet mine, that's all I'll say. I don't crochet the way she does, but she's happy doing it the way she does. She's not going to change, is she? She's done it all her life that way. She's not going to change just because somebody says you're holding your hook the wrong way. She's not going to say, oh, yes, I am, I'll change. It's like that if somebody said that to me. I'd say, well, fair enough, it's your opinion. Yeah. People are entitled to their own opinion, but I think they should tolerate, how can I put it, moderate. That's what I'm going to say. Moderate what they say. Filter their comments. Think out loud. Would I like that if somebody said that about me? Before they open their mouth and rant-a-tat at somebody. I mean, some of the comments I believe some of the young ones get, you know, that are really, really personal. I mean, I'm lucky I grew up in a generation where we didn't have the internet, so we didn't get, if people were going to insult you, they did it to your face, yeah? There was no mobile phones and there was no internet for people to bully you on when I grew up, so I never really had that sort of stuff. But I mean, people think they can hide behind a phone, they can hide behind a computer, and they can say the most horrible things. And when you think some of the kids, they haven't got the skills, life skills, to learn to think, oh, you know, they're just being stupid, just ignore them. You know, they haven't got those life skills, so they take everything to heart and they get very, very upset. And you're always reading about some teenager who's, you know, killed himself because, you know, he's being hounded by somebody at school and that. And I think, you know, kind of, we never got that. My generation, the bullying was personal, wasn't it? It was like face to face. It wasn't keyboard warriors. It wasn't anything like that, you know. I mean, kind of, if anybody started to bully me now, you've got the skills, haven't you, to think that's, you know, to them, you know. Let them say what they want, it doesn't bother me, you know. We've got the skills, but if you're younger and that, it really affects some people. It really affects them. And they get really worked up about it. You know, if somebody said something nasty about me, I'd say, right, okay, fine, fair enough. Your opinion, mine's different. On we go, on your bike. It wouldn't cause me to have sleepless nights and think about, you know, committing harry-carry. But these young ones don't have these skills because they don't have the life skills that we have as getting older, you know. I mean, I've dealt with stuff in. Yeah, I mean, they can't. They get bullied at school. They get bullied when they come home. They get bullied on the computer. And the thing is, they don't tell their parents half of the time. And their parents are not aware of it going on. No idea. You know, otherwise the parents could wade in and say, you know, just stop it, mate. You know. I mean, there was a girl at school used to bully my son. She ripped his hair out of his head and she broke his finger. So I went to school. The school were having none of it. So I went to her mum. Knocked on the door of her mother and said, "Are you aware of the fact that your daughter's done this and that to my son?" "No," she said, "I'm not aware of it. I didn't know any of this was going on." So she shouts this kid down from upstairs and she says, "Come here." She says, "Have you done this, that and the other to, you know?" Well, she said, "Stop it right now." And it all stopped, you see, because bullies don't like being confronted. Bullies don't like being talked down. You know, you just have to nip it kind of in the bud, you know. Otherwise, they just carry on. And if the kid's, I mean, our Ian wouldn't hit her because she was a girl, because I'd always told him not to hit girls, you know. And he wouldn't retaliate because he could have smacked the floor. He was bigger than her. He could have smacked her to, you know, kingdom come. But he wouldn't hit her because she was a girl. So he was letting her bully him. So, you know, I just wouldn't have it. The school was it. School. Oh, well, what can you do? What can you do? I said, you can stop it. You can nip it in the bud. That's what you can do. Get her in here. Tell her the error of her ways. "Oh, well, we can't do that." I said, "Right, okay, fine, leave it with me. I'll do it." "Oh, well, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that." I said, "Can't I?" I said, "I can do it, and I will." And there was another kid up the street who used to throw, my son was only about 2, 3, throwing stones at him. Every time he went anywhere near, he'd throw these stones at him. So this kid come near like that, and I yanked him round the corner. And I went, "Throw one more stone." I said, "And you'll know about it, lad." And he's going, oh, you can't do that." I said, "Can't I? Can't I? I'll tell my mum." I said, "Right, tell your mum. Bring your mum." I said, "Bring your mum here. I'll talk to her." No more stones were thrown. They don't like it when you confront. Oh, right, I'm having a drink. What shall I have a drink of? Shall I have a Coke? I'll have a Pepsi. Shall I? Or shall I have an orange juice? Think, Janet, think. What will you have? I'll have a Pepsi. I'll have a Pepsi Max. Oh, no, but I'm not sorry I'm not growing up now, because I think the world's a different place than when I grew up. Oh, it's a Pepsi Max and it's a diet one, so it's probably got aspartame in it or something horrible. We're back onto the additives again, aren't we? Is it better to have the full fat? No, I don't have any dandelion and burdock. I just looked in the fridge, there wasn't any there. I can get that from my local shop. I shall go up there. I'll probably want bread later on in the week. I go to my corner shop. It's not a corner shop. I call it a corner shop. It's on the flat. It's not a corner at all. My corner shop up the road. I use it for bits like bread and stuff. So when I go in, they sell dandelion and burdock. So it's a Pepsi diet. The reason was it was 85p and it was cheaper than the Coca-Cola. You know, what they say, look after the pennies and the pounds will look after themselves. That's what they say, isn't it? Dandelion and burp dock. That's what my son used to call it, burp dock. I said, "What do you call it that for?" He said, "Well, when I've drunk it, I burp." I said, "Oh, we really wanted to know that, yeah." I want lilac. Have I got enough to go across a row? I think maybe. I don't know. Have I got any more lilac? Oh, yeah, I do. Oh, Janet, what are you doing? Got fingers that don't work. Yeah, I taught my son not to be bullied, but because it was a girl, he just didn't want to. If it had been a lad, he would have pumped him one, you know what I mean? But because it was a girl that was bullying him, he wouldn't hit her. I mean, he could have wipe the floor with her. I mean, my friend's son, he was being bullied because he was mixed race. But he used to do either judo or taekwondo. He used to do one or the other. And this one kid was bullying the heck out of him. And he threw his school bag into the middle of the road and he got run over by a bus and ruined a load of stuff and that. And he was crying. And I said to him, use your skills. And he said, oh, well, whatever they call this master, such a body says, we're not to use them on other people. And I said, what, this is an exceptional case. I said, next time he wants to bully, I said, put him on his backside. Throw him on the floor, put him on his backside. I said, I guarantee he won't touch you again. Anyway, this lad come up to him and started his usual antics, like, you know, dragging his school bag about and all that jazz. So he did. He retaliated and he just put him on his backside. In front of all his mates. Boom! Down he went. Stopped. All these mates that were laughing and joking at this bloke doing this to him, the following day at school, you all right, Michael? You all right, Michael? Nice one, Michael. You okay? Stopped altogether. I said, that was an exception. I said, I'm sure you're, whatever they call them, something Dan, aren't they, or something they call them. But they teach them not to use it in the street, which is quite right, yeah. But I said, no, just put him on his backside. I said, he won't be expecting it. Throw him on the floor. And he did. Straight down. Bigger and harder, but straight down. I thought, yes. That's the way to deal with them. He's a lovely boy now, he's 30. Felt so old. When I saw on the Facebook he's 30. My little baby boy, he was 2 when I first knew him. He was my little boy. He was like my little son I never had, you know. He was a neighbour's little boy. He was a lovely little boy. He was a little mixed race boy, beautiful little boy. He's 30 now. Oh, jeez. Time fly by. But he's still a bonny lad. Still a lovely lad. Well, he's a man now, isn't he, really? But he's still nice. Still a bonny lad. I know. My son's 56. Where did the time go? Where did the time go? You know, you look at this man and you think, God, did I give birth to that? Where did the time go? You know, you find yourself remembering certain incidents or certain places that you've been to. And you think, oh yeah, I went there about 10 years ago. And then you count up and you think, God, no, it was 25 years ago I went there. And you're like, oh, what happened in between? You kind of lose the perception of how long it was since you went A, B, and C. You say, oh, I remember going there, you know. Or you go back to a place and you think, what's happened? Where's all the shops? Where's this happened? Where's that gone? Changed. You know, you don't even recognise the town. It's like you've never been there before. Have you ever done that? You know, been to a place where you used to go all the time when you was a teenager or 20s, and you go back when you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and you're like, I don't recognise this town at all. Did I ever go here? And you start looking for a shop, don't you, or a pub or a landmark that you know, and you think, what happened? You know, everything's changed. And like my son used to say to me, are you sure you've been here before, Mum? You know, I say, yeah. Definitely been here before, but I wouldn't know. I don't know where anything is. You know, it's sort of, you want to go back in one way, and then you think, maybe I should keep my memories, you know, of how things used to be, of how the place used to be. When you had the little individual shops before they bulldozed it down and put these shopping malls in the place. And because I come from the generation where there was individual shops. We were talking about this the other day, where if you wanted clothing, all right, you paid more for it, but there were individual shops where there was a distinct style in one shop, a different style in another shop. And depending on what you wanted, you knew which shop you were going in, and you knew which shop weren't your king or your thing. And they were kind of like generational type shops. You'd go, one shop would be catering for ladies maybe over 40. When I was a teenager, another one would be catering for the youngers. And yet the older people wouldn't go in the younger shop, and the younger people wouldn't go in the older shop. But now it's just, everything's just kind of flattened and levelled. And I think this is why we get some old ladies, not all ladies, well, I won't say old ladies, some older ladies who like to think that they're young, wear inappropriate clothing that's meant for a 20-year-old. Mutton dressed as lamb, as my mother would say. Whereas it never used to happen when I was young, because we had our own sets of shops, you know. If somebody middle-aged went into one of the teenage shops, you get, what the heck are you doing in here, you know, kind of look. I know you should be able to wear whatever you want, but I think there's a limit. I've always said to my niece, you know, please, if you see me wearing mutton dressed as lamb, you see me wearing something totally inappropriate, please tell me, you know. Please say, you know, that is really not what you should be wearing, you know. You know, I see them like women, you know, in their 60s and 70s with big fur lashes and big phony lips and fake tan. And I'm like, you look ridiculous, love. You know, you do not look 25. Your face gives it away, you know. Please just wear something more appropriate. Or is that just me thinking that? Yeah, you can wear whatever you want, but please just think about other people looking at you. Ugh. I'm glad leggings are supposed to be going out of style. It'll probably take another 10 years before people realise they've gone out of style, won't it? But never mind. Apparently baggier trousers are the thing now. Leggings are completely out. And grey decor is out as well. That is just a ploy, isn't it, to get you to buy things. Like it was all grey is the thing. Everybody's got grey walls, grey this, grey that. That was so you would change everything and you would buy all grey furniture and grey things. And now everybody's bought this grey furniture, and obviously nobody's buying it anymore. So the designers are like, grey is out of fashion now. You've got to buy colour. Yeah? It's a ploy, isn't it? It's to get you to buy new stuff, because once you've bought beige and you're stuck with this beige and you can't afford anything, you're stuck with beige or you're stuck with grey. So the designers are like, no, it's all colour now. It's all this, it's all that. It's just to get you to buy new stuff, isn't it? Oh yeah, they're like, oh, you know, leggings. Oh, don't. I don't mind leggings if you're wearing something long over the top, or unless you're 20. You know, you can get away with leggings when you're 20. You can wear a short top and leggings when you're 20. But when you're like 60 and 70, leggings should be worn with something long that covers over your nether regions. We don't wish to see your bits, you know, on view. There was two young uns in town the other day. Nice little things, sweet little things, lovely little figures. Looked nice from the back, even though it was like, you know, you could see the on the back. Turned around, you could see the around the front, which I thought was a bit naff. And I'm like, no, dear, no. Oh, God. I don't need a padded bum. I've lost a bit of my bum, thankfully. I don't want a padded bottom. No, but when they're showing the front bum through the, it's not a nice look, is it? And I don't know why they think it looks like. Do they not look in the mirror? It looks rude. Do they think it looks enticing? All these fake eyelashes and the big loop. I mean, as I've got older, things have sagged, gravity. You get lines, don't you? You get saggy lines. And I'm thinking, what happens when your lips, you don't have them big anymore? Do they deflate? Do they look like a balloon that's, gone all... What are the lips going to look like when they're no longer pumped up? Are they going to look like a balloon that's been let down? Yeah, camel's foot, camel's toe, yeah. They don't look nice, do they, when you see them coming towards you with a pair of leggings on? And you're like, oh my goodness me, cover it up, darling, Cover it up. Yeah, deflated balloon lips. Can you imagine what it's going to be like? I mean, it's the same if they ever have the boobs removed, when they have these silicone boobs and then they have them taken out when they're older. I mean, gravity hits the rest of us, even when we've not had balloon boobs. It's just part of nature. I just don't like to think of what these ladies are going to look like when they get to be about 60 or 70 with the deflated lips and the deflated boobs, yeah. They needed scaffolding to hold everything up, won't they? No, I don't want fake things. Might be wanting a wig soon if I don't stop losing my hair. I said that to Manish. And I said I wanted an outside tap for my birthday. I said, or a wig. Buy me some hair. I said, my hair's falling out. A good wig. I don't mean a cheap nylon synthetic one. I mean a really decent one, like the ones the stars wear. Oh, shriveled tattoos, yeah. I mean, can you imagine? Oh, dear. Shriveled up lips, shriveled up tattoos. Oh, dear. I'm too much of a wimp to have a tattoo. It took me till I was about 30 to get my ears pierced. There's no way I would have anybody coming at me with a needle if it wasn't to draw me blood. I'd be like, yeah, go away. Not sticking that needle in me. The pain, go away. I should be going to my grave unadorned. I do not want my belly button piercing. My ears, I got them done, but that's it. Only once, not 2 or 3 times. Not up my ears and round the corner. And definitely not my nose or my lip. I can't understand why they have a ring in their lip. It must be blooming annoying all the time playing with it. And then with the tongue stud, you know. I mean, you know what it's like if you get one of them blip things on your tongue. You know, you get what they call like a little blippy thing. Bad enough with that. But can you imagine having a stud in the middle of your tongue? Or like you say, a lip ring. And those nose rings, I mean, they look like they're a cow or something. Need a bell attaching to it. To me, it looks like they've not blown the nose properly. They've got like crows hanging down. The ones that go the other way, you know, they've just got two bubbles hanging down. I'm like, whoever thought that was a good idea? Hello, Lydia. You have forgone your shopping and you've come to see us instead. Lydia normally does the shopping while we're on, you see, so she misses us usually. We've not had Sophie on tonight, have we? She must have gone out somewhere. She's got a social life, unlike the rest of us. One of these days I'll say, oh, I'm going out, I've got a date, and you'd all die laughing, yeah. Oh, I know that feeling too well, Lydia. I did that last week when I did the weeding on the driveway. I couldn't move the day after. The backs of my legs and my hips. I thought, you did too much bending and stretching doing your weeding. I still haven't finished the drive. Somebody had said boiling water kills weeds, so I might have a go with that. A kettle full of boiling water on the rest of them. See whether I can get rid of them that way. I mean, when you've got a bad back, bending down, getting up, bending down, getting up, it murders your back. Give it a try. What am I giving a try, Jane? A tattoo or or what? Oh dear. Yeah, one of these days I'll turn up, I'll have my lips done, I'll have a wig on, I'll have fur lashes, and you'll be thinking, who's that woman on there? Oh, don't forget the facelift, yeah. That'll be when I win the lottery. Ha ha ha. But then I won't be here because I'll be on my cruise. Oh, boiling water, yeah. I'm going to give it a try. You can't, it doesn't cost now, does it, to boil a kettle and pour it on the weeds? It might work, might not. But it won't do any harm, will it? I might startle the woodlice a bit, but never mind. And the ants, yeah. Do, 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 do. I wonder how many more rows I've got to do. I don't think I'll bother counting because it might put me off. Got quite a lot more rows to do yet. Quite a lot. I don't mind doing it while I'm talking because I get quite a lot of rows done while I'm talking. I don't know how much longer it's got to be, probably longer. than it is. Not going to be very long for the people's back, is it, to keep them warm? Because that's the whole point about it, is to keep somebody warm, and it's not a decoration. We're not talking a decorative scarf here, we're talking keeping some old ear warm. What shall I have next? Maybe lemon, I think. Maybe lemon. I don't know why I like lemon and lilac together. I've never made a jumper. Well, I did when I was a kid. I made a jumper with white, lemon, and like lilac. Loved it. My mum was such a good washer, so I don't know how come she managed to ruin my jumper, but she did. Yeah, triangular granny squares are nice, but they don't stay on your shoulders as well as this one does. But this one takes a lot longer and takes a lot more wool. So I can see, I've done both. I've done some triangular granny squares as well for the, the oldies, golden oldies. But I had a lot of pastel colour, so I thought, well, I'll do this bigger shawl with this. But it takes a lot longer than an ordinary, triangular one. So I'll do a bit of both. And the next one I do, I've got some blue, 3 balls of blue, so I'll do a big shawl with that. Probably do a virus shawl or something. So next week I might be crocheting a virus shawl, although I might be crocheting another wicked jacket if my niece's wool comes. It should come before the end of next week. They usually take a few days from Wool Warehouse. I mean, I ordered it today, but then it's a Saturday, so they maybe won't even look at it till Monday. So it starts off with a big chain, and then you do increases. It's a paid for pattern. You do increases in the middle of the back, to make it bend like that rather opposed to straight. It bends around like that, and then of course you're increasing at each side. So it's sort of like that bit. You're doing Little Owen's blanket. Who's Little Owen? Or is that the name of the pattern? No, it's a paid-for pattern, Lydia. It's from an Israeli lady. That one, granny striped shawl. Yeah. Oh, a childhood shirt. So you're doing him a blanket. Yeah, it's a paid-for pattern, but your rectangular one will be just as fine, I'm sure. It's just I do both kinds. I do the ordinary one, and I do this one as well. But this one does take a lot more wool. You need to have bigger balls, if you know what I mean. Excuse me, boys, for saying bigger balls, but bigger balls of yarn. I mean, the actual pattern that she does is supposed to be in the fine yarn. It's supposed to be done in 4-ply or fingering weight and on a smaller hook, but I do it in double knit and I do it on a bigger hook, just to be difficult. But it makes a much bigger shawl. And I'm sure my lady, whoever gets this, will like a big shawl. I won't enjoy sewing all the ends in, but that's by the by. I still haven't sewn all the ends in on my granny squares, on my lap blanket. I've got as far as putting the other shawls in a bag. Oh dear. Oh, you're back to have you watched Amora? She went to a place in Turkey and they had these, she calls them eggs, they're like that shape. And there was a little guy and he has like a spindle and you choose what colours you want, and it's like very fine machine cones, and he puts about 5 or 6 different ones together as you choose, and then he winds them all together, and it comes out like a great big egg. And I think she said there was about 600 grams on this ball. But you get to choose what colours you want to go in it, yeah. It was bigger than her head. She held it up. It was like taller than her head. She calls them an egg because they do look like eggs, yeah. But you get to choose what you want, yeah. I tell you, everybody club up. I'm going to Turkey. I haven't got any money. I haven't got a passport. But, you know, these things are just sent to try us, aren't they? And I can't walk there because she said it's all uphill and down, so I'll be stuck anyway. And I'd never find the soup because I don't speak Turkish, and I would never find anybody. You know, I'd be going around going, whoa, 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 anybody, whoa. Apparently, you got to go into this like suki place and then find this wool place, which is like up an alley, and then you go into this rabbit warren of a place. So I'd never found the Turkish place. I'd never found it. I'd be lost before I got anywhere. Oh dear. People sending me messages and I don't know what they are. Tan Francis exposes fake. Well, he did a thing with Meghan Markle, didn't he? So he's exposing a fake. Well, you went to be on it, didn't you, mate? So if you think it's fake, it's your fault. Yeah, I'm popular when I'm on live. I get my thumbs up. But as I say, I had 300 and odd views on the video I made. And I got 30 something thumbs up. It's free to give me a thumbs up. It don't cost you any money. And I'd said on it, please can you give me a thumbs up? And nobody did. You feel really unwanted? Like you're not loved? Exactly, yeah. Oh, you're going to bed, are you, Julie? Right, well, I'll let you know when your parcel arrives, love. It'll be when I come back from Knit Club. I'll come back from being jabbed at the doctor's. Do 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 do. Bye, Julie. Do 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 do. Yeah, I might have to start a shawl all in one colour while I'm waiting for my niece's Wicked to arrive. Excuse me, your Coca-Cola making me burp. I shouldn't leave those matchsticks on, so match makers on the table in front of me. They look so thin and so innocent. And I'm sure if I look at the back, it tells me how many calories, not to mention the sugar, which I shouldn't be having anyway, because I've not had my injection today. I'll do it before I go to bed. I should have had it yesterday, but I forget it. I'm just looking how many calories are in it. Oh, put my glasses on. Oh, 27 calories in 4 sticks. And I've probably had about 16 sticks, I think, by now. So I think I've had about 100 calories so far. That's a bit naughty. There's 480 calories in 100 grams. This box is how many grams? Four sticks is one serving, and I've had about 16. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Sugar, cocoa mass, glucose syrup, cocoa butter, skim milk, whey powder, vegetable fats, which is palm, and shea, emulsifier, natural peppermint flavourings. God, puts you right off, doesn't it, when you look at what's in it? I'm supporting 2.5 million palm trees. I don't care, I don't like palm oil. Oh my God. 4 sticks has got 8.3 grams of sugar. Flipping heck. I'm definitely overloading my diabetes here, aren't I? God, she's going to love me on Monday. They've not got any, they taste are crunchy, but they've not got any crunchy inside. There's no crunchy inside. No bits. Just tastes minty. Oh, she's going to love me. I've eaten nearly the whole box, look. Yeah, my sugar's going to be off the wall, isn't it? I don't want to be diabetic anymore. I'm fed up with it. So no, I've got to do my 3-month blood test. That's all right, Lydia. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be getting shouted at. My blood sugars will be. I've been really naughty just recently. I've eaten a lot of things I shouldn't. Awful lot of things I shouldn't. I don't know why I've had such a yen for chocolate and sweetie things just last week or so. That's why I bought a load of fruit. I'm trying to wean my way off and eat fruit. I know you shouldn't eat a load of fruit because that's got sugars in it as well. You can't win, can you? You cannot win when you're diabetic. You can't. Don't ever be diabetic. Just please don't. But I've just had this yen to eat chocolate and sweets this last couple of weeks. And I'm not usually that bad. I don't know why. It's like a craving. If you're alcoholic, you crave drink. If you're a sugaraholic, you're craving sugars. That's why I bought some fruit. Like I say, it's such fruit. They say has got natural, but it's natural sugars, isn't it? So maybe it's better than processed sugars. And I eat fruit, but I won't be eating fruit tomorrow. Well, I might be because tomatoes are fruit. I think there is tomato and a vegetable. Not sure because I'm eating tomatoes with me. We're baking an egg tomorrow. I like bacon, egg, tomato, and potato cakes. That's my Sunday breakfast. Well, brunch usually. I don't usually eat it till later. I'm never hungry when I first get up. So Sundays I normally have it about 11 o'clock-ish. Something like that. I only ever eat twice in a day and I shouldn't. I should eat 3 times, but I don't. Like today, I've eaten twice today. I had a cheese toastie and I had a little meal thing for me tea. You're supposed to eat little And kind of often when you're diabetic, and I never do. I don't play by the rules. I've always been a rule breaker, a rebel. Rebel without a clue, that's me. But we get through. It's like that woman wanted me to have insulin. I mean, I don't need it now, but she was determined I was having this insulin. She said, "You'll live longer." I said, "I'm nearly 80. I said, "How much longer do you want me to live?" I said, "I'm not having insulin. Go away." She said, but. I said, "Never are, but. I'm not taking it." And now my blood sugars are, well, they were till this week. They're quite level, because I'm on the injection thing. So I don't need the insulin. And I ain't taking it, and I'm not having it. No, no, 1,000 times no. I'd rather die than say yes. You can tell I worked at Old Time Music Hall, can't you? Till I'm 100. Yeah, well, that's maybe she wants me to go till I'm 100. She puts me. I'm not on insulin when you have to stab your fingers. And I mean, the blind lady that goes to knit club. I mean, she's got one of them thingies on her arm, so she doesn't have to stab herself anymore. But she has to take her readings and then decide whether her sugar's gone up and that. And I think I couldn't deal with the stress. Finding out all the time whether your sugar's up, sugar's down. I think I feel all right. So sometimes we're better off not knowing. All this knowledge is not good for us. I mean, our parents probably never knew whether they were diabetic or not. If they felt all right, they probably went on with their life. Now we're all being tested. There's more people who are diabetic now than ever before. And you're thinking, God, most of them would never have known. Well, I'm not jabbing my fingers. My fingers don't heal up. I've got a very slow healing flesh on the end of my fingers because I've got neuropathy. That's what I said to her. I said, if you think I'm stabbing my finger 3 or 4 times a day, I said, you got another thing coming. I ain't doing it. I did it for a week and my every finger was sore. Every finger had a jab mark on it. I thought, I'm not doing it anymore. Forget it. Oh, I hope this ball of wool's going to get to the end of this row. If it doesn't, it might do. That's the trouble. The rows are getting bigger and I'm left with little balls, if you know what I mean. Oh, it's nearly 12 o'clock. When I get to the end of this row, it'll be time for my beddy bows. With my new clean sheets. Because my niece changed my bed for me. Like I say, normally I change it. It takes me forever to change my bed. Put one corner on, sit down. Put another corner on, sit down. So when she comes, she always says, I'll change your bed. So I stripped it all off, put it in the washer, wrung it out, and it dried. So I've put it all away. I've got a different set on now. I'm on cream now instead of purple. But I might actually I was a bit cold the other night. So I might actually find me throw again. Oh, she's very good to me, my niece. She took me shopping, did my hair roots. Have you noticed I'm back to blonde again? Man, the sides are white anyway, so it'll be coming to the stage where I won't need to blonde it anymore. It'll be white. It's just I've got one patch across there, a dark grey, and it really annoys me. The rest of it's gone white, and the sides are white. But this patch across the top insists on being dark grey. So if I grow it out, it'll be like going, it'll be there, yeah. Mind you, when my hair was dark, somebody said to me, "I love your hair colour. What shade is it?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "Well, what shade is it? What colour do you buy?" And I'm like, "It's mine." And she goes, "Oh." I think they're so used to everybody dyeing their hair. Yeah, she thought it was dyed and it was my own hair colour. I mean, this isn't, of course, as you all know. I'm probably grey as anything underneath. Well, I am, because I know I am at the top there. Sides are white, grey. Well, perhaps you thought you had it streaked for effect. Yeah, you should say, yeah, I have the grey put in especially. That's the bit that's dyed. I wanted to look more mature, so I put some grey in it, yeah. Why some of the young lassies dye their hair grey, don't they? I thought you'd be grey soon enough, love. What are you dyeing your hair grey? You know, you see them wandering around, they're about 20, 25, and they've got their hair's grey. I'm like, is that a fashion which I've missed? You know, normally when you've got grey hair, you want to get rid of it. Not dye your hair grey. Yeah, you're supposed to put lights and... I don't want to be grey though, Lydia. I don't want to. I don't mind being white. I do not mind at all being white. I don't even mind being a very pale silver grey. But I do not want that, you know, that horrible dark grey salt and pepper look. I don't want that. It's just not me. I decided to let it grow out once and it got to a certain length of being grey about that much. I thought, no, can't deal. Gotta go. I mean, was it last year when my hair went that funny colour? And everybody's going, oh, it looks lovely. It was like a weird shade. And it was patchy. It was blue in some bits and weirdy grey in others. And everybody kept saying to me, oh, it looks so much better. And I'm thinking, it might do, because the light shines on it like that when I'm on telly. But, oh, in real life, it was really horrible. And I got so upset about it because it was such a mess. And it was worse because everybody's saying, leave it looks much better. And somebody said to me, you look much better now, you're not a brassy blonde. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I didn't realise I was a brassy blonde. But it did look better on the video. It was awful in real life. It was, and I said to the people at Knit Club, people on the video say my hair looks nice, and they're going, it's not you, you know. And I went, yeah, I wish you would dare to tell everybody, you know. I'd love mine to be white, Linda. I would love it to be white. And I wouldn't need to do it blonde. I'm halfway there, halfway. Just managed it. I played yam chicken and won. Right, that's how long it is. It should be finished before next week. That's how long it is now. So it's getting there, into another few rows. Then I'll put the edging on. I just want it to be long enough to be down some old dear's back, you know, to keep her back warm as well as her shoulders. Yeah, see, that's the shape it is. Ooh, so if I stand up, you might be able to see it. Oh, she says, happy to stand up. That's the shape it is. It goes like and then it comes down. Yeah, I don't need many more rows. But you see, it's deep at the front, but when you turn around, it's not that deep at the back. So I want a few more rows so it'll keep somebody's back warm, as well as the front, if you know what I mean. This keeps the front warm, as it is, but it's not keeping the back very warm, is it? So, yep. At all the ends I've got to sew in. I think I might keep it on. I've gone a bit chilly. Yeah, I'm going to be going now anyway. So, I suppose you could make it up yourself, but it wouldn't have the same shape, because it isn't just a question of increasing at the edges. It's got some increases when you first start it off, you know, to give it that shape. She's increased it in the middle and at the ends and that. So, you know, you could sort of make it up, I suppose, as you went along. And it would just be a straight line rather than that shape. I mean, she's done it. She's worked it out quite well, the lady who's designed it. So, yeah, I quite like the shape of it. I've got one myself that mine's all jazzy bright colours, any old colour in mine. But as I say, she's doing baby cardigan, baby hats. So that's why I've got all these pastel colours. But I've still got a big bag full. There's enough to do another one. It might not have as many colours in. It might be more pink. She's given me about 4 balls of pink. They're all different pinks, but there's big balls of pink I've got. Yeah, 2 more pink. They're all different, so I can't make a shawl out of pink because they're not all the same pink. But there'll be a lot of pink in the next one. A lot of pink. A lot of pink. So we shall see how we get on with all the pinks. Pink, pink, to make the boys wink. And I've got 2 part balls that's left over from my sweater. Because as you know, I had to buy another ball of a different die number. So I did one sleeve with the different die number. So the rest, it doesn't show. But it might have done if I'd have broke it in the middle of a row. So I've got a half ball left from that sleeve, and I've got a half ball left out of the sweater. But they're slightly different pinks again, so you can't make a pink shawl because I've got all this pink, but they'd all be different shades of pink. Probably look a bit odd in a shawl, but maybe somebody who was colourblind wouldn't notice. Right, peepies, it's now 7 minutes past the witching hour. So I'm going to go and have a little sleep in my clean bed. Woohoo! I like clean sheet day. You know, if it was every day, you'd have clean sheets every day, wouldn't you? But, you know, means you've got to wash them yourself, like, you know, you don't, do you? It isn't so much the washing, it's getting them dried again and making their bed, which is dull. Never used to bother about things like that. I used to change my bed far more often than I do now. But, yeah. Anyway, good night, and thank you all for your company. I've got 34 thumbs up, which is more than I had when I did a video. I mean, I might do a video when I get my parcel. I'm getting a parcel from Julie. I'm getting a parcel tomorrow. No, not tomorrow, Monday. So if I've got time when I come back from Knit Club, I might do a video showing what she sent me. Because I don't know what she's sending me. She's sending me something. No idea. So you might get a video. You may not. I may have finished this. One never knows. I'm getting so close to finishing it. I might do it. And show off my wicked. I might wear my wicked, you see. Do a model. Do a cakewalk. A cakewalk, I should say. Not a cake. Yeah, cake. What do I call it? A cakewalk. You're not modelling cake, are you? Don't know. Maybe I should Google, why do you call it a cakewalk? Answers on a postcard, please. Right, we've got Nancy, Val, Jane, Chris, Linda, Lydia, Nathan, don't know who else. Anybody else? If I missed you, I'm sorry. I'm going to go now. So bye now. Bye you all. See you all soon. Bye for now. Oh, a catwalk, not a cakewalk. Trust me to say a cakewalk. Oh, wait, it's called a catwalk. One never knows, does one, Val? Right. Bye all. Bye now.